Here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hey guys, Nick Stainert here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Monday. Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer, Old School, brought to you the new school way. 1040 O Street on this snowy Monday after a Thanksgiving weekend, but we are live in effect. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt/Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. I always say every type of meat, every type of cut. I didn't even mean to say the cut, considering the news coming out of Husker land today. Obviously, we appreciate you guys or encourage you guys to text in your thoughts, questions. We will get to it. It'll probably be heavy in the college football for all 3 hours of Old School today. By no means, am I a coach? I'm not going to give an opening statement, but, I'm not a big fire coach guy just because of I would say this: the best head coaches are a byproduct of really good assistants and players. So, and Coach Osborne will tell you that. Nick Saban will tell you that. I think to make a really good linebacker coach, you have to have players that are willing and able and have the intentions to be better than maybe that they originally think they could or thought they could be. By no means am I blaming the players. I think it's probably one of those things. I don't know, who knows how the conversation goes. The defense struggled, at times. Obviously, 2 national TV games obviously shines a light on some of your or 3, I guess, if you want to go back to Minnesota game. And maybe USC game, where, struggled at times and that maybe the expectations and reality, didn't add up. And probably there were some details that probably, really rang true, when you're talking about 8 busts, after the Penn State game, first 8 plays, what Matt Rose said and all that. So then obviously it's generally, it's generally, when a coach has a high penalty team, that's a, good comparison. They get, I guess, held accountable for it. I think John's a good coach. I know he is because I know more about him than most people, but just because he coached a long time at two places that I was, for my 8 years, I was there too at two places. So he'll land on his feet, get another job, and whoever comes in, or whether it's Phil Snow, and he's the interim or long term, has got a job to do and shoes to fill. I guess my only suggestion would be, okay, let's identify, what I said on Inside the Huddle is like, let's identify what exactly we want to be.
Yeah.
Then let's go develop first. Okay. So that means the roster that you have right now and the guys that are coming back are going to be 85 or 75 to 80% of your wins next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to re-identify what we want, if we're going to be a 4-man front, right? Or we're going to be a 3-man front. If we're a 4-man front, then we got to make sure where we have our open side defensive end, close side defensive end, what do we want of our tackles? And then we got to re-identify what do we want to be. And then you got to go as deep into, this is what I expect clearly out of this position. This is the type of player that I want there, not just height, weight, and stuff like that. It's more of a mentality type of thing.
Jay, I mean, you and I talked extensively on Friday. I mean, before we even knew about this news, we talked on the post-game show a lot about whether or not it was players, coaches, a little bit of both, a little bit of everything. And we kind of landed on the latter part there. How important is it for Nebraska just to have continuity throughout this? Because, I mean, this is something that also Nebraska head coach Matt Rule can't necessarily run away from here, in that now you're going to have your third defensive coordinator in as many seasons.
Yeah.
You are going into next year, that is. You've had 2 offensive coordinators. You've had 2 special teams coordinators in 3 years. I mean, that's a lot of turnover. That's not even talking about the position coaching changes that Nebraska's had. Does that part for you at all concern you about what it could mean for next year? I mean, this is now, some of these guys will be taught by a third guy in as many years. That's a lot of change in a landscape that is ever changing.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. Just because coaches and players come and go, and that's the way the business. There used to be always coaches coming and going. Now the players have the freedom to go. So yes and no. You want continuity. I think continuity more for a staff, kind of, if I'm the D coordinator, I know you're a linebacker, exactly. We can talk in a different language versus, I'm the D coordinator, you're a linebacker coach, and then next year it's, Nick over here. That can mess up, but I think that could be, fast tracked, just by, at the interview process, and obviously spending a lot of time with each other. I think more importantly, I would say this, people are going to say, okay, you had a lot of turnover. I'd rather you have some turnover when you need to make a decision, and make the decision and then move on from it, versus then sitting pat and then people will be mad just because you kept a coach or coaches or whatever a little bit too long. So I think it's a learning process. I think this is a very new area for any coach now, especially, Matt coming from the NFL. This Big Ten is ever changing. You have one Big Ten, his first year, your first 2 years, Big Ten changed in the offseason last year with the addition of 4 new teams. You know what I mean? Recruiting has changed probably twice, maybe every year. I mean, NIL has changed, and it's going to change even more. They had a little ruling now with JUCO players. That's going to change the way you recruit now, because JUCO players now are guaranteed, even if it's allowing them to go to D2 and D3 without losing years as well. That can really change your idea what you want from a player, how much high school you actually actively recruit, so forth and so on. Now, it doesn't have immediate impact, but it changes everything. So sure, the turnover, you look at it, but anytime a coach I've been on teams when coaches get fired. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a player, and there are times when it's 100% on the coach. Now, whether it's off the field, or a coach is just not a good person. John Butler is a good person, and he's a good coach. So it's usually the continuity, like the mix of analysts, coaches, and players, maybe some communication, and then the way that the guys have played. Because I mean, before you get into it, like I know I appreciate your text here. We got 3-4, 4-3, 3-4 alignment, 4-3, 3-3-5.
Yeah.
We'll get into that again. But I will tell you, I've played in them all. The times that I've played well, whether it's college, in the pros, it didn't matter how many guys we had down there in the front. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where it's on the players. Now, there's been times like Vic Fangio is a great defensive coordinator, and Aaron Glenn, who's the head coach at the Jets. I always tell this story. We ran cover 8, our cover 8 that was our bread and butter, and our win percentage was something like 84%. I mean, we were on a heater. Like we just had, but we had continuity though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had guys, we knew each other. We actually went off script sometimes. But when we got in the red zone, he wanted to play it different. Our win percentage was like 12.
Yeah.
And during a bye week, we had to say we got to throw it out there. So I think philosophy-wise, all I'm saying is if we would have played that red zone cover 8 a little bit better, right, and not be so stuck in it, then, it would have been out. So I think it's more the players got to take it upon themselves, and then it's, it's a tough day. He's got a family. He's got kids. It wasn't for a lack of effort. And so, it's not a happy day. It shouldn't be by any means.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate because a lot of the statistics are kind of against, Nebraska's defense, and a lot of the ugly ones. You look at one of the biggest issues for Nebraska as their team was offensive conversions for Nebraska's offense. The defense, when opponents got into the red zone, they didn't do necessarily a great job of stopping them. I mean, they allowed 30 scores in 31 red zone defense opportunities. I mean, does
that include field goals?
That includes field goals. Okay. Now, the touchdowns, they are second to the worst in the country, 135th out of 136 teams. They allowed 24 of those 30 touchdowns and then 6 field goals.
So that's more glaring than the field.
I agree. And so the reason I say that is because I remember, I mean, even in Matt Rule's first year, with that whole situation there, it was a case of, I remember telling, we would have conversations about, man, remember how well the defense would bow up because the offense consistently put them in such difficult opportunities, not necessarily in the red zone, but I'm saying Nebraska's special teams, the punt team was really, really poor. Whether it's turnovers, whatever it might be, there were time and time again where Nebraska's defense would only have 55 yards to defend. Yeah. And you would sit there and go, man, how is Nebraska continuously in this game? Well, it's because the defense bowed up. We said that less and less as the season progressed. It really was unfortunate. Obviously, the last 2 games of the year against Penn State and Iowa are the most glaring, right? Yeah. 70-plus points allowed in 2 games where the weather's not favorable, but it's just Big 10 hard-nosed football. But this was something that, unfortunately, the defense, Jay, you and I talked about it every post game. It didn't necessarily get better from game 1 to game 12, and that's something that you can't necessarily argue with.
Yeah, it's tough, and you can go as well as you could go on a heater defensively. Or offensively, where you get hired, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen guys that are now head coaches because their teams got on a heater. It could work in the opposite. So, what's done is done, and obviously, wish Coach Butler the best, and so they struggled at times in the red zone, and primarily it's probably against the run.
Yeah,
there wasn't a ton of like passes. At least I'm just kind of my memory. And I think the biggest thing that probably is, was like I guess put it in the crosshairs where, like I said, you go Penn State and it might be just, I don't know. I didn't hear how Matt said it, but I was just saying, okay. You got the first 8 plays and guys weren't lining up or had 8 busts in a row. And it really wasn't a very confusing offense from Penn State. Now, ultimately, you always look at leadership for that, right? Because, DP's always talking about, holding them accountable, and people are saying it. Even like you're Adam Carrico, somebody's got to be held accountable, right? But let's not skip over the guys that were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're at game 11, and this is just 100% honest. And I can say this. I would say this to the players. I'd say it to the coaches, because number one, I care about them. But look at it like this: you're in the 11th game of the season. I'm just gonna assume, and and a very good assumption, you've been looking at these defenses probably since February, watching tape, all that. Then you got spring ball. Then you go to summer camp or whatever it is. Then you got fall camp, right, or training camp. And then you had 11 weeks with already 2 bye weeks at that point,
Yep.
right? So you had 2 bye weeks. So that's probably 13, 14 weeks. So you had 3 months of running the same stuff. And so you play against Penn State and you got 8 busts. But sure, that's the guy calling the defenses, right? So then you can say, well, don't call anything you don't know. Well, if you're running 8 different defenses and you ain't lining up, and some of these guys have been playing a lot of football, there's the blame goes both ways. But ultimately, Coach Rule made the decision. You got to support him in that. And Phil Snow is a well respected. He knows defense. He's been successful. Majority of the places, I think, of all the places he's been at, even when he was at Carolina, Coach Rule, their defense was pretty salty.
Yeah.
Even though they were very young. I know that for a fact because I obviously, got family down there and spent a lot of time down there. And so I kind of just, when Rule was there, I just watched games or whatever. So he'll know he'll be able to hold the fort down, and he knows what Matt wants. Matt knows him. And we'll see. If they run a little bit of 4-3 front, I think it's a good time for a lot of these players to, I was call it, it's kind of funny season. This is when Phil Snow showed up.
Yeah.
Was it during a bye week or during the bowl?
Yeah, it was during bye weeks of
week,
last year, to where Phil Snow and Dana showed up.
Right. So it's the same thing. You got a bye week now,
earlier in the year.
Right, before you kind of get going into the bowl game. And I said it, yesterday on Inside the Huddle, this is a time, if you have any guys, at least if this was me, if I have any guys that I thought maybe need to be analysts or come in as assistant coaches, say I coach with them at Baylor or something, this is the time, because you don't even know who you're playing. And you got 15 practices before you play again, right? So you got plenty of time to just kind of look-see. And you get fresh ideas, right? A lot of guys go around. I mean, Herman Edwards was down at the Texas game. Guys go around and kind of just give ideas or get ideas and give wisdom doing that. And this might be one of the moves. And, I think primarily Phil was a 4-3 guy, so you might see more of that. And then they'll just have to match up. They're not going to be able to change much, but a 4-man front and a 3-man front isn't a big change. It could free up some guys to do some more. Now, you don't even know what they're going to do. They might just keep running the same stuff. And so just to make it easier, probably got to streamline the communication, whatever the communication was or wasn't, but whatever wasn't up to snuff. That has to be addressed.
That was the most, I think, frustrating piece about just Matt Rule's comments about that Penn State game, was because it came off of a bye week. And maybe why these last 2 games are so glaring is because you had a week before that Penn State matchup to kind of really hone in on maybe what you could work on and what you needed to really focus on before you faced off against two really meaningful opponents in terms of what it could mean for your schedule. I mean, the differences between, dramatically, 9-3 and 7-5 are completely different. We're probably having different conversations today. We're probably not having the conversation about Nebraska changing defensive coordinators if Nebraska is 9-3 and comfortably going to Tampa for the bowl game. And so it's one of those things that, unfortunately, Jay, I would ask you this as we kind of put a bow on this segment here in a couple minutes. How crucial is it for whoever's next for Nebraska? Because we know Phil Snow's the interim head coach. Matt Rule's statement to the media earlier today that they all sent out to us basically said that they're going to work on finding a new full-time permanent offensive coordinator in the next couple of weeks. If you are Matt Rule in Nebraska going forward, number one, what do you need? Number two, what does Nebraska need out of this next guy, mentality-wise, more than scheme? And then number two is, what does this mean for the other guys in that room? The other position coaches, because there's get new guys in there in Terry Braden on the defensive line. There's Phil Simpson, Though there's Rob Dvorak, who's been a holdover from a couple of DCs. Addison Williams is brand new into that defense. And then as you continue to trickle down, we don't know if those were John Butler's guys. We don't know if those were Matt Rule's guys. Like we don't know all of that information. And so I'm sure for some of those guys, they're sitting there, not necessarily on pins and needles, but there's a piece of that where they're going, okay, what does this mean for me in my future?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions now. That's why I'm very hesitant to, talk about guys getting fired. I mean, heck, Scott Frost was here, and I ain't never say that.
Yeah.
Take from that whatever, whatever you want. So, I mean, I think more of a mentality, identity, maybe that's what you want to do, but that's got to marry into your, all three phases have to marry into each other. You can't have a like run and gun, offense, and then your defense and special teams is kind of like, all right, we'll just figure out what we're doing. You got to kind of all marry them all together. And this is a good time to maybe really dive into that and really maybe re-identify that. It's more of a mentality. I think, there's this whole thing that you can't be demanding. You can be actually more demanding. I'm paying you. I'm demanding your best. Mm-hmm. And if you are not, that's what you have to do. Somebody that's not going to be afraid to be demanding. Not personal though. Yeah. It's never personal. And that's where I think people get it all mixed up. You can't coach them hard. Yeah, you can. You just can't be personal. And I think that's where people got the mix up of like, Bobby Knight headbutting that kid and all that type of stuff. Like, that's not really like coaching, right? But being demanding, because I know Matt Patricia now. He'll tighten you up like a mug, okay? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'll challenge you. But they not one of those players and hug him after that game against Michigan, right?
Yeah.
So I think really having a clear identity of what you want from your defense, but it has to marry with what Matt wants from his defense and defensive coordinator. Sure. And then if that trickles down, you don't really have to make, a lot of different changes, because if, I think if you're a good coach and you can kind of effectively like communicate with other coaches, you don't have to go and say, okay, well, I only can coach my defense if I got 5 other of my guys that I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, sure, there might be other guys who be like, oh, man, I got to go, do what I got to do. And that's just the nature of the beast of the business of coaching. But I think, you got some young coaches. I think it's good to have some young coaches because you're kind of like, that's the way all these guys that are getting these jobs from Nick Saban, were all assistant coaches, and some of them were analysts. That's what people don't understand. His coaching tree is so wide because he nurtured and developed coaches. Now, look, we're at probably in the middle, like we're a little bit farther down the line now, so you can't really do that like through a whole staff. But you can do it because you believe and you see something in them. And I think you don't hire coaches just like, oh, I'll just hire them. Just all right, man. I picked them out of a hat. You saw something in them. So then, the new DC or whoever he is comes in and can see the same, then you don't want a lot of wholesale changes because you'll be starting straight over.
Yeah.
And then when you're going in not only that schedule next year, 2027, but just in general in football, it's very hard to start over.
When's the time to self-reflect, like in terms of that mentality piece? Because think about the schedule now. There's enough issues as there are with the college football schedule right now, but we that's a whole nother conversation. But you're basically going to go into signing day on Wednesday, sure, into bowl practice, into portal, and we can't be naive to think that those don't intertwine.
They do intertwine.
They do, because there's going to be transfer portal conversations within the bowl practices, and there's going to be transfer conversations and coaching conversations intertwined with the bowl practices. They're all going to overlap. You have new guys coming in for bowl practices. We know true freshmen are included into some of those. TJ Lateef was one of those last year, was here for bowl practices ahead of the Pinstripe Bowl. Through it all, when is the time to self-reflect? Is there a chance? When is it?
You can do it now. You can start getting some ideas now. I always say it's like funny season. You can start to reshape and change. It's not really, I don't think you need like wholesale changes now. Mm-hmm. They were able to win 7 games. Now, were they able to do it the way they should have? Obviously not. The coach will tell you that, but they've made progress now. So you get what I'm saying? So you've made enough. You got to recognize that. You can start to really lay some seeds into identity, what you want to change or what you want to kind of start to, infuse into your defense or your program. It's a great time to, because really your 2026 season starts right now.
Yeah.
if you want to change up something the way you practice, this is the perfect time to do it. And then you got guys that are potentially looking around and all that, and you're looking around as well. But that can't change what you're doing. And you got a big day Wednesday. You got to re-recruit your roster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to move forward. I'm sure I'm sure a majority of the conversation, or a lot of the conversations, or I would think, are probably in process now with guys. I'm assuming, right? So
they are.
So then, you kind of see where you're at. So it's okay. This is what we're doing. Your new leadership needs to be coming up the pipe. You got a lot of seniors are leaving.
Yeah.
So this is where the guys that are, juniors and going to be seniors really need to step up. And then you can really go out there and really, maybe trim the fat in the portal. And then on Wednesday, if you have any guys that are, loose ends, say you get a late decommit from somebody that you really like, you can really go and, make some hay with him.
Yeah, Nebraska's working on flipping a couple of guys. One is Devin Jackson, who's a defensive back from the state of Florida, who had a surprise visit over the weekend to the Iowa game. He's currently an Oregon commit. Nebraska's working on trying to flip him. It's going to be a pretty low drama signing day, we expect. Not many signees. There's a couple of really good pieces to this class, but I think we're really going to find out what Nebraska prioritizes once January comes around, the portal hits, because I think Nebraska is going to be some major player in the portal going forward. So it should be a relatively low drama day on Wednesday, but still a day that now without a defensive coordinator, there's questions that I would imagine some of these recruits are probably having also of like who's going to fill the void? What do we want? Right? Because Matt Rule can't answer that question of like, hey, this is going to be your next DC. Maybe he can, but ultimately it's more so of like, what is Nebraska looking for going forward?
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, if I was a defensive player, I'd just at least make a call and see what's up. But you put ideally hope to put your trust in the people that recruited you and Coach Rule. So
yeah.
Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. We're going to get into the text now. Okay, the next couple segments. Jay Foreman, my man Nick Sainert, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote-controlled cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. Practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th, for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, for our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. Get 12% off parts the day of your local event. Can't make it? You can still save 10% on parts and 20% off planter parts December 1st through the 12th. It's the best time of the year to stock up on oil and filters. Grab John Deere gifts for under the tree and schedule your service inspections. Don't miss out. These deals only come around once a year at Landmark Implement. Find your nearest expo at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back, Old School, second segment, Jay Foreman. We got Harrison in here. We're doing all switcheroo now, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Nick he got to go.
Yeah, he had to go. He told me.
He's a bad produce coordinator.
I only had a meeting and everything all set up, but I'll bet my calendar.
Hey, Harrison, I appreciate you stepping in, man, while Austin is out handling his business, very important business. But we'll get to the text line. Appreciate you guys calling in or texting in, and obviously on the YouTube channel as well. But we'll just primarily do it on the Sartor Heyman text line. Now, I will get into the nuances and difference of the 3-4, 4-3, 4-2-5, and all that stuff later. But we'll just deal with the text right now. We start right from the get-go. Unknown texter, 6732. What happened to the really good running back that we signed out of St. Louis? Did he redshirt? Yeah, I think he got hurt. And so he's still in the fold. So don't worry, he'll be in effect. 3803. This dude right here. He said this coaching staff is soft, and so the players played soft. We need a coach that believes in being physical. That is that physical there, Harrison?
Mine just crashed over here, so you got to do all the reading.
Start with the offensive line, defensive line, coordinator. Stop with the on-the-job training coaches. Every coach is on-the-job training, just to let you know. They're Mr. 3803 from Tejas from Texas. Nick Saban did that as well. Mr. Lane Kiffin benefited off it. Sarkisian has benefited off it. Bill O'Brien benefited off it. The new Mississippi Ole Miss coach benefited off it. Mel Tucker benefited off it. Mel Tucker was an analyst. Then he became a DB coach. Then he went to Jacksonville. Then he came back there.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Smart as well. So I do understand what you're saying. I don't know if I don't think the coaches are soft. The players play soft. I mean, that's a whole nother deal. Eric, what's up, man? And 007. In all the games, Nebraska allowed teams in the red zone 31 times. Opponents scored 30 of them, and 28 were TDs. It's actually 26. Still not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Farley. This is not Farley. Okay.
Not Terrell Farley?
I'm not Terrell Farley. And I know you text this at 306. wipe off your camera. Harley don't look this good. But anyways, what's your take on a 3-4 versus 4-3? I'll get into that.
Is that the conversation? Or are people calling for us to scrap the 3-3-5?
Well, they've been saying anytime a defense doesn't work, they want you to run another defense.
Yeah.
Now, we'll get into that at the 4:00 hour, okay? Because we'll get it maybe even a little bit later because we're going to dig in on Lane Kiffin because I got the inside scoop on.
Boy, that thing blew up since I talked to you yesterday.
Yeah, I knew it was. I sat on it for a little while. I know Lane a little bit, but I know somebody that knows him a lot. I know multiple people knows him a lot down there in Oxford. Gorilla Bear says the Butler hire was always unnecessary gamble. No teams that we want to be grouped with would hire Butler. I don't necessarily agree with that. He had to go. Also, Dana has a little heat. Seems odd too. Seems they went heavy NIL on offense, and multiple times the offense was the weakest link. So, everything's results based. You get guys, and I think that's the hardest thing about the portal. The portal, I'm telling you, is not the problem solver. It's a finger in the what. Because I don't know if you can say the word in here, right?
It's right? What do you call it? It's that tape that they slap on. See those infomercials?
Yeah.
I always forget what that.
Yeah, when they're on the boat.
Yeah.
Out there in Florida.
Yeah, I'm blanking up, but that's what the portal is.
Yeah, and so
it'll patch you up. It won't fix you.
They won't fix you. And I always say the hardest thing about the portal is you watch somebody at said school, and that's why you recruit them, you pay them, and you hope that they produce at and should above the same way they did somewhere else besides Lancaster County.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's circumstances around it. There's dynamics around it. You can't expect a lot of passing numbers when Emmett has a record-setting year, and he's also effective in the passing game. And that actually kept you on time, on target. So, Butler being gone, he's a well-respected coach both at college and the pros. He would have got another job.
Yeah, that was a low-risk gamble.
And he chose not to stay at Buffalo. It wasn't that he got fired. So I don't necessarily agree with that.
As bad as you can say, we have one of the best passing defenses. So it's not like this defense had nothing going for it whatsoever. Right. There was definite problems, and we can point them out. Yeah. But
I think the biggest change from the NFL to the pros in college, you have to be able to run the ball and you have to stop the run.
And he didn't quite get the second part of that.
Right. Well, we didn't. It wasn't necessarily all on him, but he's the head defensive coordinator. Rest is history. Brad says we need to run a 4-3. Money G in Kansas, the new DC and head ball coach, is now going to say we'll need time to get our type of players here. Probably not, because they probably know he would probably be hiring this coach. I'm assuming. I'm never going to speak for anybody, but obviously going into year 4, if you bring in a new coordinator, whether it's Phil Snow stays on at full time or you hire another coordinator, I'm assuming that coordinator is like, I can come in and probably has an idea of what he wants to do to change via the conversation that he's having with Pat Stewart, Matt Rule, or whoever. I'm sure Pat Stewart's in on it as well.
100%.
No, they're not going to, you can't say we're going to start over, and you want to recruit to it. You want to look at the type of players you have so you can marry your defensive philosophy and potentially your scheme to your gradually get to it. I always go back to when Bob Diaco wanted to run a 3-4. We didn't have one dude on that team that could play outside linebacker in that 3-4.
Yeah, you talk about it all the time, but at a certain point, style matters.
It does.
Like, even if we're talking about offensive guys, like, you can't just bring in a bunch of guys because they got a bunch of stars, not caring whatsoever about what style they play or came from.
Yeah, and it's big thing is mentality. We saw it when Callahan came in. We were obviously always an option team, and he wanted to just only run West Coast stuff. It takes a little while. Now, if you could have married a little bit more West Coast with your option, probably would have been a smoother transition, right? Same thing when I talked about Bob Diaco. It's not that he doesn't know how to coach or not a good coach. You're trying to do something that the present day roster with no portal now.
Mm-hmm.
So then you actually had to recruit and develop to it. So you needed 5 or 6 years to do that. And obviously then, so you want to make sure if you do that.
Well, even us though, like for how many players we have recruited for that defense to play in that style. I'm not saying we have to be absolutely married to it, but it's much bigger than just switching it over the course of the summer and then smooth sailing. You got a bunch of dudes that you recruited for that defensive scheme.
But also, you run a lot, probably more 4-man fronts anyway, because you're in nickel a lot.
Yeah, that is true.
And against Michigan, they ran a bear front, and that's the front that you want to. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you want to run against Michigan. That's what you want to run against Iowa. That's what you want to run at times against Penn State, the bear front. It's essentially, 3 defensive tackles, 2 guys on the outside, 2 linebackers. That's the best defense, or one of them, that you can run against a primarily run first, offense. And then when you're going against passing teams, the spread teams, a lot of times you run a nickel. So it's 4-man front anyways. So you can talk about the 3-3-5 as much as possible. Sure, there's, everybody talked about the time that we had 3 defensive linemen down there in the goal line. Sure, you're 100% right. But you're not staying in the 3-man front all game long. In the 3-3-5, the jack position is actually your on the line defender. Now, he's got to be a dude, and you got to be extremely productive, but you got to be technically phenomenal. Okay, you got to be impeccable with your fundamentals, because you have to essentially do a job of 2 people in one position, and that's the hard part. That's why I'd say outside linebackers are like unicorns. They are like, it's hard to develop them to that. Now they can, but generally they're Lawrence Taylors and all those guys. Those just magical, right? And so we'll see. Let's see what we say right here. Rule could go 5-7 next year. Schedule is rough. Then what? Nothing. He ain't going nowhere.
I mean,
so whoever's calling it doing that, it's not happening. It's not happening. They mad at here we go. They're mad at the O-line coaches. So that's the next 3 texts, which is weird because you just had a good year by the running back. So now you're mad at the O-line coach. So I think that here's the thing. And it's almost like going in and playing quarterback after Peyton Manning left at the Colts. No matter what happens, you're going to get blamed for it. So Emmett just had a record-breaking year. Sure, he did a lot of the stuff his own, breaking a lot of tackles. But the offensive line had to run block at a decent rate in order for him to do so.
Well, and, you got some of those later games, like that UCLA game. He was going untouched past the line of scrimmage quite a bit. When it was at its best, we can talk about the pass pro, but I don't know how much that was.
But you can't complain. Everybody has a different complaint based on the result of the game. There's sometimes you said Dylan held the ball too long. Well, if you're holding the ball too long, that means you're getting protection. Obviously, the Minnesota game was not their best. It wasn't good at all as far as pass protection. Okay. Well, then Maryland had a really good pass rush. We gave up 1 sack, sleepy sack right before half. So you don't get credit there. So you have to look at the whole thing, and then whatever. People are going to think whatever they want, but no matter what happens, that's the one position people always want to get mad at.
What's the easiest one to beat up on?
Yeah.
And you do have a game where you gave up a lot.
And you have years and years and years and different head coaches and regimes that it hadn't been up to snuff. So it's just kind of, just, all right, that's what you do. Another text here says, funny, we're talking about 9-3. Nebraska was closer to 5-7 than 93. Northwestern, Maryland both went down to the wire. What do you think about that, Harrison?
Bear down. I don't care. We won. At a certain point, I mean, you can analyze it, but you find ways to win games. Yeah. Like, you want to win by more, and it can be a little bit disappointing at times, but I don't know. I mean, I just hate. I'm like, you never want to be in the place where you're apologizing for wins.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Should you have beat them by more? Vegas said so, sure, but you found a way to win the game, which is the biggest thing, because we aren't 5-7. We didn't lose those games.
You could look at every. That's the whole 3. We're the best 3-9 team ever in history.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
You only won 3 games.
That is not a badge you want, but sure, there's times that you should have beat them by more and should have won some other games. Should have beat maybe Michigan State by a little bit more, or maybe turned the gas on a little bit earlier. But you could dive into all that stuff. But really, when you look at it at the end of the season, this was a maturity year, probably 1 game behind satisfactory, which would have been 8-4. So you're 7-5. So you got to really dive into it. Okay, what could we have done or we didn't do to make sure we got 8 or more wins?
Well, and if we lost to Iowa by 3 as opposed to what was,
right. Yeah, they still
is the fan base just as angry? I think they'd be kind of still where they're at right now.
Well, if we lost to Iowa by 3, I guarantee you this text line was, see, we can't win a 1-score game.
Yep.
So really, you got to look at the way that you fix it. I think it's more of a mentality and keep pushing guys to mature, and then obviously, when you go out and get guys, make sure they're all in for football purposes first. Let the business be the business, but when you step in the building, all the business is done. So We got a text here from 4424 says, kick the tires on Bo. That's not going to happen. Bo's not coming back here. We got a text of, well, dang, Foley taking the side. He getting shots over. Ed Foley been chilling for a year. He got Satterfield, Foley, Garrett McGuire. Oh, he's mad at saying the rule needs to hire better guys. This is Shane from Lincoln. Then we got one more before we go to break, right? Unmasked Texter says, our linebackers are very disappointing on top of the D-line. I think they were just up and down. You know what I mean? I think it was
a 1-2 punch. When those two groups are inconsistent, they got to work together consistently. Otherwise, you're going to have those games.
Good without the other.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just up and down. It was a learning year for them. I wouldn't say disappointed. I think they played better majority of the time, but they can still be better than that. Says so 34 nickel any good with what we got. Well, the 3-4 isn't necessarily a nickel defense.
Like, the problem I saw was a lot of times, like, again, then I go back to that Iowa game, that main run and pick a defense. It wasn't going to work out the way we weren't executing. Like, to me, that was more, we had some one-on-ones on the outside where you lose contain, you have an opportunity to take Gronowski down for a loss. One-on-one, you miss.
Yeah,
you go inside and
you got to make some plays.
And that's where, Butler, I'm not saying, he should have kept his job or he was a lock, but there were some moments where he called the right play and we just still didn't execute. So we can keep changing the X's and O's a million times, but until
I think people generally think if you call a certain play, that means we're going to win.
That's how it works on Madden.
Yeah, it's not Madden. There's a little thing called a human error and obviously emotions that get into that game that you cannot get an output on your PS5. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We'll dive into some more text. I'm going to give Harrison a couple minutes to think about the chances of Lane Kiffin winning a national championship there now that he's at LSU. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a chance of snow this morning and probably sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a higher around 24. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover and calm winds, a low around 7. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze, afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, for upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. Get 12% off parts the day of your local event. Can't make it? You can still save 10% on parts and 20% off planter parts December 1st through the 12th. It's the best time of the year to stock up on oil and filters. Grab John Deere gifts for under the tree and schedule your service inspections. Don't miss out. These deals only come around once a year at Landmark Implement. Find your nearest expo at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today. There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison. Old school quick segment before we get back on time at the top of the hour. Harrison, I'm putting you on the hot seat.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, Lane has a 7-year contract.
Yep.
How many national championships does he win?
Just one.
Just one?
Just one. Then something happens and it's a 6 messy exit. He's a messy guy on the way out the door. He is.
I've been knowing Lane since middle school. Yeah, because we were ball boys together. It's funny. Me and Lane were ball boys, and then Larry Fitzgerald was a ball boy afterwards. Him and Lane get all the credit for being ball boys, but he was messy even back then.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. This, if you're Ole Miss, do you still let him coach though?
No, you can't. And the reason why,
because if Ole Miss goes far, he gets the money, which is crazy.
That's fine. They had money. They had plans. They knew what Lane was, who Lane was, and so they had plans for it.
I think you're right. Now
you can't let them coach. Now all the national guys are saying it is because they all have the same agent. That's it. You can't do that.
I was on the boat, let him finish, and then I saw him lining up on the plane, all the fans, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you can't bring it back."
Now, if you're Tulane and schools like that, or when UCF and Frost was going and we weren't in a bowl game, yeah, you can. And Tulane needs their coach before he goes off, right?
Mhm.
He's just going to Arkansas. You can't do that in conference. No, no. He already is going to try to pluck your players, the best ones.
Yeah.
So why would you give him free reign to all the other players? So no, they can't. And Lane Kiffin, Lane is very unique. The thing I hate for him, or don't hate for him, he don't really care anyways. But that ESPN put time and money into over the last 3-4 years of rehabbing his image, right? And he's done a lot of great things. Like he's not drinking anymore. He's obviously leaned out. He's got his life together, and he just burned it all down.
How many do you think he wins? 7 years, LSU.
He wouldn't 1 or 2. This be more importantly after he wins what he is like that. Now, if he wins early, his exit is going to be early. But I think if he wins later, I think he'll stay a little bit longer.
The only thing that scares me is like he fits that LSU culture, but maybe a little too well.
Hey,
that's all I'm saying.
Hey, that poison is down there for him. You going right into the devil's den down there for you, my brother.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing he's good now, but
yeah, he's not going to a place that fits.
Mhm.
And that's where I think, and we'll get into a little bit more. That's where Mississippi's really mad, because everything that he's wanted since he's been there, I know this for a fact from very reliable people down there. They said everything that he's wanted, he's gotten. He's wanted more analysts, he's gotten it. He's wanted more analysts that are former players, he's gotten it. He's wanted more money. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's gotten it. He wanted more money in recruiting. They were willing to go dollar for dollar for anybody.
Not good enough.
And then he dipped. And they knew it, but the thing is, they knew he was dipping weeks ago. That's where they really were mad at. Anyways, we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll get more to your texts. Obviously, you guys have been lighting this up. We'll get more to your comments on YouTube as well. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
Hey guys, Nick Standard here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th, for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back, second hour, Old School. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison on the ones and twos. 1040 O Street. We are obviously live in effect. A lot of stuff going on in college football. This is kind of like what they call it Black Monday when after the NFL season.
Yeah.
Coaches get fired, coaches get hired. The only team that seems to not be in the hiring cycle is Penn State.
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
They were the first
and then
one.
Fitzgerald possibly to Michigan State, or is that finalized?
It is finalized.
It is?
It is finalized.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I thought he'd actually be a good fit. I don't think Penn State would necessarily take him,
Yeah.
but I think that'd actually be a really good fit.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of stuff going on. So we got a lot of stuff on the text. We'll dive into some more college football stuff. Because you got championship weekend coming. Also, we'll dive in that a little bit later this week. But back to the text line. Boat anchor. We just keep going on. I like that, right?
Good name.
What do you think of the 3 down linemen when inside the 5-yard line? Happened a lot against Iowa. I'd have to go back and watch the tape again, depending on if Iowa was in 21, 22 personnel. I think obviously that it's a heavy run for them. So ideally, you'd probably like to have 5 defensive linemen down. That's where I would talk about the bear front, right? And you're at the 5-yard line. As long as you have enough communication, you're able to match up. There's not any space for you to get beat by 90 yards because if you take 5 yards and then 10 yards in the end zone is 15 yards. It really lessens the athletic difference gap just because there's nowhere for guys to go. So probably want to needed a bear front. I think the play that people saw, because I don't know how these people, put them up so quick. Iowa did something really, really, good where they started the formation one way, they flipped the formation. Nebraska wasn't able to adjust. So you had Javen in one time playing essentially where you'd like a defensive back to play. You had a defensive back playing essentially a linebacker position, and then they were able to kind of get up on that second level, score pretty easily. So that just comes from continuity, maturity, and then obviously communication. But you probably like a little bit of bear front. So for everybody that's listening about a bear front is essentially you could have the center and the 2 guards covered in some form or fashion by 3 defensive linemen, right? And then you would have 2 defensive ends or 1 defensive end and a stand-up linebacker or like McCullough or somebody on the tackle, and then 1 would be head up to the tight end or inside, and then you can adjust your linebackers off that. You have 2 stacked linebackers. That's a really good front against a heavy run team, heavy run down, heavy run tendency. So maybe that. So Greg and Tilden, that's up by Norfolk, ain't it?
Yeah, Tilden. I think
is it Norfolk or Norfolk?
Norfolk.
Yeah. Tilden's by there, right?
Is that by Wayne? I might have drove through Tilden a few times. Small town.
Can whoever becomes DC get the autonomy to choose his own assistants? Will they be forced to use the china in the cabinets if they can't pick their own? I don't know. I mean, that's maybe he wants to come in and what DC can bring all of his assistants though.
Yeah, not very many.
Not very many, right? I mean, I don't think that very rarely happens. I mean, that'd be starting your whole program over.
Yeah, Tony White got to bring a few dudes over, but even he was highly touted, didn't get to bring his entire staff down to Florida State.
Yeah, but Florida State fired their whole defensive staff.
Yeah.
And they kept their old defensive line coach as a senior defensive analyst. He's been there forever, played there.
But you're not, even Tony White's not going to go in there and fire him.
No. And he brought
a lot of dudes because there's openings, but you still can't just come in, clean house. As a DC.
Now, if there's all openings.
Well, then sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be all openings. So, let me see. Band-Aid for stitches. Let's see what John and Cortland is saying. I don't know what that means. Harold Fears asked, will EJ leave or Emmett leave? I don't know. He's got a big choice. I mean, he's played himself into where he can't make a wrong decision. If he comes back to Nebraska, he's going to get a significant pay raise. I'm sure other people will be trying to increase his pay here and, collegiately. If that's not the case, stay here in Nebraska. Obviously, I would tell him that if you're going to do anything, stay at Nebraska. And then obviously the potential of going pro. I mean, he's up there. He's anywhere from top 6, top 5 guys. That's anywhere lowest 5th round. That's a lot of money, especially where his age and obviously having the year, he's going to have a decision to make.
Yeah, I don't see him going to any other college.
Yeah, I don't see
NFL. I can see he left the door open on that, but I think if he's going to come back, he doubled down on Holgorsen and it paid great dividends.
Right.
So if he does make a move, very unlikely he's going to show up in another uniform.
Yeah, you just never. I mean, somebody might come and pay him stupid money. He's like, all right.
It could be, but
probably not.
I don't know if the running back market's pulling the same amount of money the quarterback market
there's
is.
not. So he's got to look. I think he's got a decision to make. Take his time, make it. They'll support him either way. He's earned the right to make that decision. He's been very consistent. He was their best player all year from game 1 to game 2 or 12.
Should have been a Doak Award finalist. He just didn't have the touchdowns, unfortunately, but everything else was there.
And he played big. He played big in Iowa. I mean, in his last 2 games, and so give him credit and let him make his decision. And then obviously, just appreciate and support him there from there. And if he comes back, then you just expect him to continue to grow and get better. So, Bama fan in Lincoln.
Is this Raph?
No. How can you even say past D was good? Stats may say it, but played no one. and got lucky on top of drop balls by opponents. Probably just by the stats. They played well against the pass against USC.
I mean, USC was well below what their average scoring was.
They were there.
You got a loaded box more often than not because you can't stop a nosebleed in the run game.
Yeah.
And you were above average. I don't care what you say. The pass defense, it was at times you can be upset when they got tested on one-on-one situations, but it's again, they had to commit so much to the box.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the problem of this defense.
No, I mean, they played pretty deep. I mean, they had the senior guys. They had to be the leader. You had Sierra Wright. Obviously, Marshall came in, was really good. So, they did all right. They could always be better. I think the last couple games, based off of, the play action, deep over routes, probably like to play a little bit better in that sense. And that's probably a second and third level combination versus just the defensive back. So, Westy asked, what group of 5 team gets into the college football playoffs? They got championship weekend. So who do you think gets in?
How's Tulane sitting?
I think if they win, they're in.
They should be the favorite now, I would think.
Yeah, Tulane.
I don't know anybody else that's really popping out of the water that I'd pick.
Yeah. North Texas has, I think they like one extra loss. I don't think they get in. Maybe James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison might. I think it's still Tulane though.
Yeah,
unless they, it's theirs to lose.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Do you think Notre Dame gets in?
I don't know.
They're gonna pull some strings.
Maybe. The problem with Notre Dame is there's just that schedule of just independent conference. They don't really got to play anybody. They only got to win a couple games a year, and they're in.
And they lost to Texas A&M and Miami.
Yeah.
And it really would come down to them and Miami head to head. You gotta give it to Miami, right?
Mm-hmm. I think you go Miami over Notre Dame.
Them Canes.
But they like Notre Dame.
Yeah. Mississippi Mud Dog. Firing Butler today just tells me that Rule made the wrong choice hiring him last year. Hopefully he gets this one right. At some point when you have had 3 defensive coordinators, 2 OCs in 4 years, it might just be you. I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, I think who knows if Butler has another opportunity. I don't know. I mean, I guess they said he got fired. So
you got fired, so obviously it was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
If you had to let him go. I think that part's obvious. But Tony White, wasn't fired. He just had another opportunity, and it was working really well with him.
Right.
Given you had the benefit of Ty and Nash.
Right.
And was a really great defensive front.
I think just coaching in the Big Ten, I think it's an ever-evolving process. It's hard to come in and necessarily have instant success, and you got to have some continuity there. So that's probably what you probably want in Mississippi Mud Dog, more continuity than anything, right? Because that's how, Coach Osborne was blessed with that. Bo was blessed with that. So they're able to hopefully make a move that'll be not something that's going to be a talking point within the next year or two, because you want the defense to be successful and they got to move on. Corey and Lincoln said the O-line got better as the season went on. They straight up bullied the Iowa front 7 on Friday. I mean, that's without saying they gotten better.
How different is pass pro and then run blocking? Because you'll see teams like the Lions in the NFL, incredible at running the ball. You put them in pass pro, they look horrible.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you go about pass pro. Do you slide the line? There's a lot of one-on-ones. Do you chip block? Do you have an established run game going so you can make the defense think twice and kind of so they can't pin their ears back? I think with the Minnesota game, they made Nebraska kind of one-handed, and then so they were able to just tee off. Now we didn't play well, but also part of it's the sacks are offensive stat.
Well, I always point to that 9. You don't get the 9 because the offensive line was bad.
Yeah, it's their offensive stat.
That's a collective effort.
But they were able to answer the bell after that.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I said, they're always the easiest to blame just because it's been the position to blame way before Matt Rule got here. So
at least they clean up on penalties. At the beginning of the year, it scared me a little bit. We were racking them up, but I just remember some of those Frost years, those penalties were horrible.
So you got to see where they go from there. Insightful Dude says if it wasn't for the improvement of the special teams, we would have had a worse record than last year, meaning we regressed this year in most areas. Special teams are really good. Probably broke even the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State and Iowa, they made probably more plays than I forecasted.
Yeah, Iowa, you definitely lost with them off the punt, the safety.
Yeah, but it definitely drastically improved
for sure.
There They're a big part of winning 2 or 3 games, but that's part of being on a team, man. You can't take it away from. I mean, you can't take it away from them for winning or how they won, because you asked for it all season. Special teams to be better. They're significantly better. They are they are a problem for other teams to deal with. So, I mean, the rest of the stuff doesn't mean anything. Bandit says we need Jim Leonard. I think he's working for the Broncos right now. 6785 says Lane Kiffin could have been the king of Mississippi if he stayed and won a natty. Now he's just another butt in the seat waiting to get fired. That is a true statement.
Yeah, got a lot of money though.
Yeah, but he would have got a lot of money in Mississippi. I don't know if I want to be the king of Mississippi. I've been to Mississippi before. My mom's family from Meridian. I'm not really sure about that, man. It's all right down there, but I don't know. I gotta go back and probably just now I'm more older and see if I'd want to be the king of Mississippi.
I've never been around those waters.
Yeah. Trust me. I'm not just playing. Mike D says, how can you expect a player to grow and develop if he has a different position coach and coordinator every year? So you got to think about that. But you know what, you got to respect, coach made the move, and you got to leave it at that. Eric, I hear you. Something with the station ID. I'm not going to. Zach says this isn't Virginia. I don't know what that means. Oh, for about Norfolk.
Oh, he says it's Norfolk. He goes with the fork.
It's near Norfolk. It's Fork, and it is Fork. Greg and Tilden says it's Fork.
Yeah, they're all coming at me.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Well, Greg and Zach need to figure it out.
You got to change the spelling of it then. It reads like Norfolk.
1627 says Eckler for new DC. Packer fan 72. Can we get a definition of targeting? I saw it Friday, but it wasn't called. I don't think they even know.
I think my whole conspiracy on that is they're so scared to touch that ruling.
What they call it though?
I don't know what it is. Like we talked about before on Sunday. Like I think the best way to do it is you make a tier system. I think the reason they're so hesitant to like just tweak those rules is no one wants to get involved with that. Because if you're the one that imposes these, like to me, it feels like they're scared about lawsuits down the road. Anything with CTE is just slow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just think it's like nobody wants to really. I think if you have one crew in one league, they say this, another one in another. Depends on the player, because there was one where Ohio State was playing Penn State. Caleb Downs probably targeted, but it's the intention. Then they have the 6-inch thing on your crown. Then it's like slow motion. Then you ain't even looking in body types, because I'm 6'2.5". That's 5'10" receiver is coming across the middle or running back, and he drops down. There's no way I can get below the crown of his helmet.
Right. Explain it any other way how it's so poorly officiated then. Like I just can't understand it.
I think they're gonna call it. And then be able to pull it back. So the go-to is to throw it. Anything that looks like targeting that. But then they just came in there in Lincoln and missed a full-fledged bona fide, by definition, target against Barney. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was the 6 inches of the crown perfectly.
Yeah,
the part you drawn diagram
where you're looking at the ground. So we'll see. I think they need to throw out the ejection though when you are called for targeting, because the majority, 99.9% of the players don't have the intention to hurt somebody like that. The guys that are trying to. Really
that's why I say, like, make it a tier system. Like you can see when a guy goes for the spear all out. Those are easy to see. What we see, to your point, like 99% of the times is someone sliding last moment, or you just get these weird plays where there's no intention to take a guy out.
Yeah. 0739, appreciate everybody texting in. He says, by the way, that targeting against Iowa was a big momentum swing. That is 100% factual. Because they got 2 points out of it, and plus Nebraska would have had the first down plus 15, and that guy would have been out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. 0326, he says Butler's DBs weren't good last year as a position coach for that unit, so it was a far reach to get him to be D coordinator. A big part of that was Tommy Hill was out all year. 7660, what happened to Marcus Buford? 0 playing time. I think he had a couple missed tackles. I don't really know. I mean, that's a coaching. I can't answer that. I'm not
getting intimate with you, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he has DJs in there, so he must be talking and texting. Not really sure about that. Our short yardage run blocking is where we really suffered. Our pass pro was way better than the narrative and EJ's running stats. Run blocking, short yardage is hard. As much as here's the thing I've been seeing about short yardage in general. A lot more people are going for it on 4th and 1 or whatever.
Yep.
There's a lot more explosive run plays off of that because you don't get to rep that a lot. But then also I think with the way offenses in general, just across the nation, with all this spread, you don't get a lot of power blocking practice. That's why you see teams that are really, really good in short yardage. They're generally not changing their stripes 20 to 20. So that's it. Jeremy in Lincoln, he says, I have family in Mississippi as well. And no, I wouldn't want to be kicking your Listen, look, I got family there, man. I love
So Kiffin was right.
Yeah, Kiffin's I got to get out of here. Yeah. And Oxford only has about 30,000 people, but Baton Rouge is a dump anyways. One-Eyed Ray, I don't understand the fear of changing the rule. The hit happened regardless. Why should it be all? I agree. I don't think you should eject him unless it's egregious and with the intention to hurt somebody.
I just can't believe we're down the road this far, and every year it's a major complaint that doesn't get fixed.
Start with taking out the ejection and missing part of the game.
I think I'm okay with the ejection. I think you just got to tier it though.
I don't think you're gonna get ejected.
I've seen some plays where it's like, yeah, that guy needs to sit out.
Okay.
Where
That's intention.
leaving the feet.
That's intention.
Tier system.
Okay.
Yeah, intentional, unintentional.
Right, unintentional, which is majority of the time.
You might see 2 guys ejected all year. Is one on that.
That's fine.
Like a very extreme case, but majority of the time, it's just a penalty.
Right. It should be a penalty, and if you have one that's like where they peel back block, and then they get it targeted, then that's a double dinger there too, and you do 30 yards, and so that'll you're hurting your team. Greg and Tilden, he's still on North Fork. Okay, it's the North Fork of the Elkhorn River. The map maker of old days misspelled it, and apparently they were too lazy to fix it. But everyone who actually lives there calls it North Fork.
Okay.
I believe Greg and Tilden.
He seems like, he's talking about, he's got the maps. That is a historian right there.
D-Train said he wants Bill Bush as D coordinator. He's only on D coordinator lately, the last one to beat Iowa.
Yeah, I can understand why people like Bill Bush. That's what beating Iowa does.
You're legend.
Yeah.
Let me see. We had a hard time the whole season getting off the field on 3rd down. Yeah. If you don't do well against the run, you're going to struggle on 3rd down. So it starts. I'm more of the where the not the end, but the start of the downfall of 3rd down. He said, I'd love to see the Steelers go for it on 4th down. Cubster. He must be a Steelers fan. Corey, Northwestern choosing not to go for it against us on 4th and short was an example of one time a team didn't take advantage of our poor short yardage defense. Otherwise, I feel like every other opponent felt like they could absolutely get us on 4th and short. Well,
Minnesota they got scared a little bit, which was crazy.
Corey, when it's 4th and short, the advantage is to the offense. The offense should be able to get the 1st down majority of the time. That's why people say that our short yardage offense needs to get better, but you don't get to practice it a lot. Limited rosters and limited physicality eliminates that, but everybody can get better at that. Eric says it's Norfolk. I believe Greg and Tilden.
I'll let you guys do whatever you want down there.
I believe Greg and Tilden just based on because it's Eric. So whatever Eric says, it's the opposite. So it's the opposite day when it comes to Eric. So appreciate you guys' text, man. It's with 30 minutes of all you guys keep texting in. And obviously, after, Friday's game and obviously Butler being fired.
Real quick, everyone keeps saying Bo Pelini.
Bo's not coming here.
That's where that's kind of where I'm at. Is there any possibility?
Bo's not coming here.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Look, people think about this.
That was the number one name I heard all day.
Bo Pelini was the head coach here.
Yep.
Okay, he won 9 games for 7 years in a row?
Yeah.
Okay, he won 9 games. And he got fired. Now, granted, Bo was not as probably savvy around the.
I thought that was us, though. I thought we don't need the.
Bo, listen, Bo was roguish. But I'm down with it, though, right?
Well, that's what I thought we were.
Why would he come here and beat a DC?
He's not.
He's not happening. Stop asking. Stop texting.
I want to get your thoughts on that.
It's not happening.
I would like it.
Here's Thomas and Lincoln. He wants to start something. Who would come back first, Bo or Frost? What would Scott be coming back here for? Tea time?
I did, yeah. Definitely a tea time.
Big Bang Hank wants Bill Bush. And he wants to win and beat Sip. Kip says this before we go to break. I'm from Fremont, so I pronounce it as yuck. All right.
Fremont, that's bold.
Yeah. 6785 says no, Bo. That's like asking your ex you kicked out for a second chance.
That's not far from it.
Yeah. Jim Leonard, Ohio Husker says Jim Leonard for DC. Again, Jim Leonard is the senior analyst for the Denver Broncos, who are destroying the whole NFL defensively. Let me see. Gus Mohawk, any chance Mike Eckler gets a chance for the DC job? He knows he's a defensive-minded coach. He knows ball. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, that's between Coach Eckler and Coach Rule.
The only problem with that is like we finally just fixed our special teams. Maybe it's fine. You can slide him over that role, and he's still got a good pulse.
Maybe like a position coach, but you got to you haven't even decided what type of defense you're going to run if you keep the same. So just keep the main thing. I'm going to say this before we go to break, because then we're going to jump into more college football stuff, or maybe we'll do the 4-3 stuff, and then we'll do college football at 5 o'clock hour. Okay, once upon a time, now the Denver Broncos went down to Miami, played the Miami Dolphins. Jake Sorensen's Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they scored 77 points.
Yeah, it was 70.
Okay. 70? Okay. That's
70 something, but it was 70 or
it's
more.
The most points I've ever seen in an NFL game.
Yep.
Right? Sean Payton was the coach. Vance Joseph was the D coordinator. If they would have fired him, that defense led by Vance Joseph would not be doing what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants to jump on the fire coach thing. Sometimes when you retain a coach.
Well, didn't you have to tell him like back off? Let me do my thing.
No,
not in that way, but
no, he did. Vance
okay, yeah.
Said, hey, look, if you want me to coach you, you gotta let me do what I'm doing. And then it turned around instantly like that.
Yeah. So
and if you know Sean Payton, you gotta boot up to him because he's gonna try you a little bit. He's gonna test your gangster a little bit. So it's worked out though.
That's what I'm saying. I never know how much control these coordinators have. That's always the other part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever comes in is going to be able to do their thing. So I was just saying that's a good example of everybody wanted him out of Denver. He stayed down like forward flat tire or 10 toes down for Vance Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out pretty well. You got a Super Bowl defense and probably.
I mean, you're looking at them
or playoff offense. Wild card offense?
Wild card offense. They're like kind of similar to the Packers this year.
They're no Chicago Bears.
Not even close.
Anyway, we'll take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Harrison, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote-controlled cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Hey guys, Nick Stannard here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Second segment, 4 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman. My man Harrison on the ones and twos.
Gonna fix his defense?
New Nick in the building. Another Pius in the
I
building.
don't look nothing like Nick.
No. We got to test him out, see how strong he is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other Nick.
Huh?
Sainer.
Yeah.
I thought you were comparing me to Nick Sainer.
Oh, no. Nick 1, Nick 2.
Yeah, we'll get to...
I like Nick 2 a little bit better right now. He's called cool, calm, and collected.
It's
refreshing.
Yeah.
He's a good representation of Pius. You call it Pius X or Pius the 10th? Pius the 10th. If I was talking to Nick, it's Pius X. You're going to get the respect of Pius the 10th.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it. Pius X is a blasphemy.
Oh, it is?
I know.
That's
I remember
what I'm saying to Nick then.
I remember doing the high school report, and boy, the one time I said Pius X.
Your text line went off?
It wasn't text line. It was like I was walking around, and I can't remember where I heard, but people that is like a sin to be calling it Pius X, unless I'm mistaken. But I remember some people were offended by that.
Okay, we don't want to offend anybody.
The 10th.
I don't get no letters here talking about it. Anyways, on to this defensive front. 3-3-5, 4-3, 3. We've heard it 3-4 now. And it, obviously the obvious is 4-3. You have 4 down defensive linemen, 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends. 3-4, which Bob Diaco was primarily running. I think Shenander did a little bit. You have 3 defensive linemen, 2 outside linebackers, and 2 stack linebackers. Essentially, it's a 5-man front. Now, then a 3-3-5 is the way guys run it now are you have 2 bigger defensive tackles, which is why you had Nash and Ty. A middle-sized defensive end. Those are your 3 down defensive linemen. And then you have an outside linebacker that kind of is a stand-up guy, and that's your playmaker. And his height and weight varies.
Yeah.
And then
that's your buck or whatever you got. That's what we called in high school.
Jack, right. And then you have and he's technically a linebacker. Then you have 2 stack linebackers. And then you're able to have 5 DBs. And one of your defensive backs can be like a Gifford, where you can be like a hybrid, like a strong safety that can play linebacker at times. And if you have those guys, then, all of that right personnel could be very, very effective. And we've seen it the first couple of years of Tony White. You've seen different guys emerge. You've seen, Isaac Gifford, play well in it. You see a guy like Mekhi Bear that came out of nowhere. You saw, John Bullock that went from a safety to a linebacker. Now he's potentially going to be, I don't know if he'll make the Pro Bowl this year on special teams, but he's obviously a special team stalwart there for Tampa Bay Bucks. But he was
He'll be on the conversation at the very least.
But he was a linebacker. The difference is, the 3-4 and the 3-3-5. I'll just do the 3-4. Now, I never played in the 3-4 until I went to Buffalo. And just in my mindset, it was a little bit of a difference in playing. It wasn't a difference in the playing style. Now, the way that we played 3-4 in Buffalo was just your basic Okie defense. Nose guard over the center, 2 defensive tackles over the tackles, and then the linebackers were, they called Okie. You line up on them guards, and it's straight. You eat what you kill. That means you got to take on a 310, 20-pound lineman, and you got to make a tackle in the hole and stuff like that. Then the outside linebackers were sometimes college defensive ends that were athletic enough to rush off the edge, and obviously Lawrence Taylor and all those guys and TJ Watt, make it. Now 3-3-5. Well, I'll stay on the 3-4. The 3-4 is meant to confuse the offensive line in their count, where you're blitzing from, how they can pick you up in the run game.
Well, those linebackers might drop back in the coverage too.
You might blitz. You might drop some defensive linemen at times. You might blitz from the open side. You might blitz from the closed side. You might have an outside linebacker and an inside linebacker blitz off the tight end side, and then you'll have an opposite defensive end drop. It opens up your playbook and expands your playbook in theory tenfold. And so, and then obviously if you have outside linebackers, then the rest is history. And the 3-4, this is my opinion. If you have edge guys that are really, really good, and you got a really good nose guard, it's probably the best defense out there. That it gives you so much flexibility.
Well, it gives you a spot too for your best athletes to be the impact players.
Well, here's the thing: you can run 3-4 base defense against their nickel offense. You can run 3-4 against 11 personnel, but you have to have the dudes that are mentally and physically capable to do it. And it's and I played in different ones. I've played in a very confusing 3-4 at times for Vic Fangio, where we had essentially a third of a new playbook every single week. And I played one in Wade Phillips. It was probably the smallest. It was like the Cliff Notes version. Because now I will tell you, we had the ultimate equalizer. We had Bruce Smith, and we had another equalizer, Ted Washington. So you weren't running on us. And when we got in third down, we had the NFL sack leader, all-time sack leader coming after you. And then we had, I think Marcellus Wiley was a backup. We had Phil Hansen. We had all. So that's
But again, it goes back to the style.
And that's
You
not
have-
that's not normal.
Yeah, that's
it's like playing
that's
with
style on steroids, right there.
That's like playing with Lawrence Taylor. Like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. So, but then I played in the 3-4 where when I was in Houston, we were very, very good, but we ran a lot of 4-3 fronts. So we did all that stuff. And so that was a great job by Vic, where he kind of curtailed his 3-4 to 4-3 fronts, and it kind of maybe our personnel, we were able to be very, very successful. Now 3-3-5, that was what we sometimes called our what do we call that? That was like our dime defense. Now we had a really good stand-up guy named Corey Moore that could rush off of 2 feet, and then we would have just 2 defensive tackles and Aaron Schobel, who was a really good pass rusher from TCU, only primarily rushed with his hand in the ground, and then we had Keith Newman and Corey Moore on that. So that was our 3-3-5. And so we were able to play 3 safeties, right? We had Rayon Hill, Keon Carpenter, and Kurt Schultz. So we had Kurt Schultz that was kind of like the, air traffic controller, and Keon was very, very good in coverage, so he could make up for a lot of ground, and Rayon was a hitter. And so you're able to do different things. Now, but to get back to it, it's how you play it. It's how you play it. And so you got to really own it and really dive into it. I've been in defensive calls and defenses that I necessarily didn't fit my skill set. And I'll be honest with you, the first 3 years in Buffalo, I played in 3-4. Here comes Greg Williams, and we ran. There's a text here from Gus Mohawk, kind of that 46 defense. It took me probably 6 games to really come to terms with it and start to be really, really successful in it. 6 games out of a 16-game season in a contract year. Now, I was doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it took a little while. I had to work harder at it. I didn't really like the defense, to be honest with you. I didn't like, because I felt like you were like playing up on the line of scrimmage. You had us in this funky stance. Like the ball goes away from you, I'm out of the action. I'm used to being in the middle of the defense, where you can get action both ways. So, but eventually, I got out of my own way and started to produce from there. So, the 46 could work in the Big Ten, but again, 46 defense is what your Bears ran. 85, you had Mike Singletary, Richard Dent, McMichael, Dan Hampton, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, and Gary Fensick. You had like all Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the best defenses for a reason.
It can work.
You could run a few different schemes with that defense, and you'd look great.
It could work, but you got to have the guys, and you got to develop to the guys. I think that it takes time. I think the Bears, Mike Singletary said he struggled in it for a while, and then he had to work with Buddy Ryan. So it takes a little while in any defense. So Gus Mohawk says it works in Madden.
It does.
Yeah.
I can verify.
Yeah. And 46 is no different than a 3-4. They just didn't know where you're going, coming from. I will tell you this is not a funny story, but a cool story. When I was at Nebraska, obviously Nebraska switched from like primarily a 5-2 defense, which was archaic, and they felt like they were losing against Miami because of lack of speed. They changed their defensive philosophy. Going to have one main big linebacker, defensive tackle, strong up the middle. Take maybe, developmental guys and put them at defensive ends, right? Maybe longer linebackers that go down to defensive ends. Take strong safeties and put them at linebacker. So that's where I fit in. So obviously it worked out really well. I remember Coach Darlington was going around to all these NFL training camps and all this other stuff, right? Mini camps. And this is when zone blitz first started to take off from Pittsburgh and obviously Carolina. We put it in our system. Now, matter of fact, that interception I had against Colorado was a zone blitz, right? But you have to have, we had Jeff Ogard, who was about 330 pounds, dropping to the weak hook, right? But it's my job to send him to the least, stressful place, just the weak hook. And I have to cover 2 guys, right? But it worked out because he was able to tip the ball, and the rest is history. Here's my point is we were a 4-3 front. Dom Capers, when he was at the Steelers, and Dick LeBeau when he was at the Steelers, Dom Capers obviously with the Panthers, and Dick LeBeau also when he was at Cincinnati was mainly a 3-4 front guy. So we were a 4-3 defense running 3-4 stuff. here's how it could be appealing and it can really work out well. When I got to training camp in Buffalo and they were running and I'm competing for a spot, against other guys that are trying to make it, we put in the zone. I knew that stuff like back of my hand because I've been running it for 3 years. You get what I'm saying? So really the scheme in the front matters, but it doesn't, especially when you're facing a lot of nickel. But then also as long as you marry it to your personnel, because you could run if you have a very, very like intellectually smart team or defense, intentions are good. A lot of football guys, you can run anything you want. But if you have guys that are learning, then you maybe have to condense the playbook because you just want them to get the basics. You want to get your foundation there. So you're able to do more. When I was here, we had the foundation, and we actually needed that to kind of keep us, enticed and kind of like another little, caveat you could put onto our defense. So, whatever they do.
Do you think we need to change it based on where we're at right now on the players, considering we did have some younger guys, which didn't help?
Yeah. I mean, I could see some more like a base 4-3. You mean? Because they already run nickel, so they already do 4-man's fronts. Sure. I mean, why not? Like this is why not add it to it? I think you could see how it works. I think they have guys that you can play some 4-man fronts. Now you could play with two eyes and all that, and then you gotta have a linebacker that's gotta be a thumper and get all blocks then. So part of the reason why we did some stuff when I was here in Nebraska, we'll get the break, is that we wanted to create as many one-on-one opportunities for our edges. And it worked out pretty well.
When you have the guys, when you know for a fact what you have, and I think that's, again, why Ty and Nash works so well.
Right.
Like, you have a lot of confidence in what you can do. And it's not so much betting on odds. You're like, okay, Ty and Nash, they're going to win those matchups.
And they've been playing a lot of football. They played a lot more football than these guys played last year. They play a lot more football at this age for this age of the like Keona Davises and them.
Yeah.
They had been playing football, or they've been starting and playing. Get what I mean? So they were more experienced even at the same age. So it's not all kind of equal. So yes, 1100 unknown texter. We got to stop the run. So either front can work. You just got to make it work. It'd be interesting to see what they do, or come the bowl game or whoever they play. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and see. We'll talk about the two different teams that we've heard that they possibly could play, and then we'll dive into a little bit of overall college football outlook in the 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Harrison. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger, or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
The 2026 Love Nebraska schedule is here. Season 2 features 10 opportunities to catch your home team in Nebraska, with 9 at Baxter Arena and 1 at the Heartland Events Center in Grand Island. More matches means more chances to see your favorite pro volleyball athletes, like Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson. Check out the full schedule by visiting lovbneb.com/schedule.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and electrical.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Quick Saving? Jay Foreman, my man Harrison.
What's up, Jay?
Should we introduce Nick number 2?
Yeah, we can the better of the two.
Yeah, we got Nick number 2, better of the two. That's your new nickname, better of the two.
Allegedly say Nick Wyman here. It's a privilege to be here. So Jay nearly spoiled me last segment, but that's cool.
Yeah, hey man, I got to put you on the scene. I got to see if you can sink or swim. So
hey, I mean that's fine.
Was that a pun for Nick Sainert?
What'd you say?
Was that a pun for Sainert? Big swim?
Yeah, Nick out of here, man. We need. I told you you're gonna trade him, man. Nick was so scared when I first met him.
Was he really?
Yeah, he wasn't a good representation.
Nick was scared.
Bias the 10th.
I wasn't there for young Nick. He was already working here when I was pulled up.
I was like, dang, dog, this is what you doing? No, I'm just playing. No, Nick good. He good people, man.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. So, not going. Let me ask you, better of the two? Do you like a 3-4, 3-3-5, or 4-3?
Whatever works. I feel like every time it feels like there's always something different when it brings to the table. I think switching it up so much just causes so much of a conflict. I think you just stick with something. It depends what players you have too, and personnel as well.
Right.
So I would have no idea off the top of my head, but I think if you just keep switching from time to time, it's just going to cause confusion, and that the culture just completely gets derailed.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all can work. I think you have to run them all, but you got to get just get your fundamentals and your foundation right. I think defense is big on communication. The loudest and chattiest defenses are the best. Now everybody's got ideas what to do. You might not change anything. You might just put a new play caller in and see how that goes. So a little bit of everything, and as long as you got the main thing, it's all good. I mean, that's all.
You just got to know what you have.
Yeah, you got to know what you have, but also you just got to make sure. Look, when you get under pressure moments, your training and your fundamentals, it was what leads you to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because you got to communicate. You got to be physical. You got to know. I got to know what you're doing. You got to know what I'm doing. We both got to know what Nick does, and we got to go play football. Because it's not going to be. You're not going to play a game, say Iowa or whoever you play in the bowl game, and they're going to run 60 trick plays that you've never seen before. There's not many plays that another team is going to run that I haven't seen or these players have seen. Now, what you have to do is make sure every single play that you know your responsibility. So when they do try to dice it up differently, that you don't make a mistake, right?
And it's got to be all the way through from the second string and third string,
right?
Because that's where I want to keep using my Bears plug because they're playing that good, but their entire defense was out. But because there was no lack of communication, everyone understood the assignment.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit down on numbers, but you're seeing the execution almost be flawless.
Yeah, 3 backup linebackers against Philly.
Yep. Had our corners back, but still,
the middle of your defense is that's a. And they shut them down pretty good too.
But they weren't doing anything different. They were just doing the same thing that the starters did.
Right.
And that's
you're
where
professional too, and that's how you make your money.
Yeah. So that's where I always fall like with Butler this year. How much of it was youth and those guys just not understanding the assignment. And you can make an argument that's coaching, but maybe do they just need more reps? Because again, I was seeing a lot of times where it's like you guys had the perfect opportunity to make the play, and you just couldn't get it done.
When you are a younger player, I will tell you from experience, you go from, kind of, I wouldn't say you're happy to be out there. You want to make plays, but you don't want to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the point where you have that talk with yourself. Is like, all right, I got to step it up. Now, how you do that is a lot of self-reflection and self-help. That means I have to be in the weight room. I got to be in the film room. I got to figure it out. Me. I got to know when guys are going to run so I can run. I don't have to take on Larry Allen all the time because that's not a good business decision, Harrison.
No.
Trust me. I've seen plenty of guys be sleep on the turf trying to mess with Larry Allen. I chose to do the other. Now you see me. Now you don't. And now you see us. Now you don't. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
All ticketing options for the 2026 Love Nebraska season are now available. Single match tickets start as low as $16, even cheaper if you want to bring a group. Don't miss your chance to see professional stars like Jordan Larson and Lexi Rodriguez in action this season. Purchase your preferred ticketing option today by visiting lovneb.com/tickets.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back, 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, my man Harrison, the better of the two, Mr. Nick. This is Old School coming at you live, 1040 O Street, as we are about to succumb to the darkness of the winter. But we are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients at Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Aldermat/Old Cheney, 168th and Maple. We are talking all things Huskers, all things college football. Obviously, the news of the last month was Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss after a historic season for them, 11-1, a sure lock into the college football playoffs, and probably to host, which is probably the most important thing, host the first round game down there in Oxford. Decided to leave there for LSU, which then the funny part was he was supposed to announce it Saturday morning after a 9 o'clock, which was 8 o'clock Central Time team meeting. That got postponed. And then it obviously came out eventually on Sunday.
Thinks what Nico Iamaleava did with Tennessee, pretty light work.
Leaving and going to.
Yeah, this stuff happens all the time. Like, for as much slack that we give players for their decisions, these coaches are out of control
These
sometimes.
coaches have been doing that forever.
Well, that's just it. They always get away with it. There's no repercussions, but like, man.
Well, here's the thing. Back when there wasn't a transfer portal, coaches, and there was one signing period.
Yeah, you were locked in with that coach. You had no way out if he left.
Yeah, what happened was what used to happen was a coach would probably inform the head coach or whatever that he was leaving. I'm talking about assistant coach, and then he would recruit you to said school, and you would sign. And then the next day, you'd be like, "Oh, Jay Foreman has just went to Kentucky. He's the D coordinator or whatever." Now
Not answering my phone either. I'm calling.
What do you mean?
Which is cold too. They're not going to talk to you. They're not going to let you know.
They're not allowed. Yeah, they aren't. Yeah,
That's like you might text them like, "Hey, is this?" You're not.
Well, it doesn't matter. You already signed. You can't get out of the letter of intent. Now they changed some of the rules, and coaches get fired. Now they have transfer portal. Now the players are just replicating what the coaches have always done. So, Lane, it's a great season for them. He decided to make the best decision for him, no matter what he says. He did it for himself. He certainly didn't do it for his family.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes that you gotta, if you feel like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, you gotta go take it. Now you got to deal with the ramifications. If it was me, there's no way I would ask the coach, because there's no way that I would expect a team in my conference to let me coach. Now, if you're going out to Big Ten to SEC or vice versa, maybe so. But
I think it's one where you ask, knowing the answer.
I wouldn't even ask. I would give you respect and not disrespect you by asking. But because I don't want to know that you be dumb enough to let me do it. To let me do it. I want to at least be able to say, all right, man, that dude's pretty savvy, so I ain't gonna even disrespect him by asking. But
because Ole Miss got a shot without him.
They always got a shot. I think Pete's a good coach. Pete Golden's a good coach, a good coordinator. It's his first time, so there's going to be the biggest thing adjustment for him is divvying up defensive coordinator responsibilities, game day responsibilities, situational football, when burn a timeout, when not. It's totally different.
I know Lane's just going to be rooting for him. It's just the crazy part.
Thank you,
because he's going to get a fat check. The further they make it, Lane Kiffin's just going to be.
Yeah,
he won.
Yeah, but
in every capacity outside of what
he's going to get that from LSU,
media.
right?
What's that?
He's getting that from LSU.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah,
they would pay him.
It's just, but you know what? More power to him. I mean, you can't fault him. I mean, he's made out, once in a lifetime opportunity that he thinks in his mind. The one thing about Lane, you can't deny you hit a triple, but you started on third base.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but he's made in some ways made the most of it. You become a head coach of the Oakland Raiders, an NFL team at 31 years old with no head coaching experience. You were a tight end coach at USC. That never happens. Then you go from there to Tennessee. Outside distractions lead you to 7-6.
Yep.
Right? You leave them in like a ghost in the night for USC. Rightfully so. You used to be there. Won national championship as a tight end coach.
Could have handled it better, but
could have. You definitely. It was.
This is the theme with him.
Okay, Raiders was messy. Now Al Davis, in the way he did it, Lane actually is probably more on Al Davis versus Lane.
True, but I mean, it's just an ingredient that. He's had a tough time with the dismount, no matter who's.
Tennessee was messy.
Yeah,
it was disrespectful. And then he went to USC, which you could understand.
Yeah, alma mater. Well, no, but you used to be there.
Yeah, used to be there. And then they fire you on the tarmac.
Yep.
Now, some transgressions, and then obviously not living up to expectations. And then you go down to Bama and get back right, like head coach rehab, win a couple national championships, do well. You get the Florida Atlantic job, and Nick Saban fires you a week before the national championship game. Why? Because you're trying to recruit some of the players on the team. You got to go.
just a bold move by Kiffin to be recruiting Saban's players.
And then you get to Florida Atlantic. It seems like you're happy, right? You kind of make that it place, and he does really well. And then Ole Miss, when you wanted to get back into the SEC, big time football, Ole Miss is the only school that took a chance on you. Rightfully so. And they set it up to where you could rehab yourself image-wise, coaching-wise, and then off the field-wise. They had him. I mean, anything that he asked for, he got it, and then some, in a timely fashion. That's where the anger comes from. The anger comes from Mississippi, knowing that they knew that he had been wanting that LSU job when old boy Brian Kelly got fired.
It's a little bit of
They knew 3 weeks ago that he had already jumped the broom and was going to LSU. They knew it. That's why they're mad. And sure, you leave, one school that's willing to give you the same amount of money. They feel like NIL is the same. So they're ready to compete. You got more assistants. I know for a fact that he hired 3 former Rebel players to be analysts because he wanted to really, uptick the nuances of playing the game. He did all that. And then I think it got to the point like, dang, you guys done gave me everything, but I'm still leaving. And you know what? Coaches leave, come and go all the time. Players come and go all the time. And
that's what's tough for Ole Miss, though.
He's elevated them to a top 10 job, national prominence. It's kind of like what James Franklin did with Penn State. Whoever they get to come in next, whether Pete stays on full time and whether whoever goes to Penn State, it's going to be interesting to see how well or how they go about trying to fill those shoes from a national brand standpoint, and more importantly, on the field standpoint, because Lane Kiffin for sure made Oxford, a town of 30,000 people, a place to be for people that normally wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to do it his way. And obviously, LSU is probably a bigger and bigger brand, and it has more cachet job, but also comes with some unique expectations and pressure as well right away, which you don't have. I think you could probably, there's a difference. You could probably go 7-5 back-to-back years in Ole Miss and not have to worry about your job. You go 7-5 no matter what your contract is, as we've seen at LSU, maybe just 1 year, and say they just don't like your quirky personality, you gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not be able to come back from it. So that's what risk he's willing to take, and wish him all the luck. And Lane hadn't changed since he's been a kid, and so
doesn't look like it.
I know it. I grew up with him. I seen him. We were ball boys together.
Yeah, ball boy Jay.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we'd be supposed to go in there and clean up. Lane would be nowhere to be found. And then right at the end, he'd do a little something.
Yep.
Here's a funny story about Lane, man. This is funny. There was a safety, and Lane, I think, might have been up there a year before me. My dad was like, "Look, man, you're getting in too much trouble. We're gonna get," and it's hard work. Now, when you're a ball boy, the payoffs are game days. Just because you're just working the games, you get to see great players. You're young and impressionable and stuff. But training camp ain't no joke, man. I mean, it's 5 a.m., 4:30 wake-up calls because you're up there with the equipment guys. So that's why I have a lot of respect for Jay Terry. And you ain't going to bed at 10, 12 o'clock at night. And you get to go to, eat at training table or whatever. But it's hard work, and it's long days and hot. So sometimes, the players, when they knew they were going to get a day off, if they needed something done with their car, you could make extra money. We go vacuum out their car. We go fill it up with gas. And so there was this guy, this safety named Felix Wright. He used to play for the Cleveland Browns, but he was playing with the Vikings. And he had this Mercedes. He had this Mercedes, man. And Lane was way more comfortable doing it, maybe because Monty was like a D coordinator or something.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna get too mad at the dude that's, the coordinator's son. I was just there. And he had this Mercedes, and I never forget it. It was black and had like tan. It was pretty sweet. He's like wanted us to go fill up the car. So Lane's driving, he's rolling. We get this. We come out of the parking lot. He guns that bad boy out of there, right? And
were the players around? Like, could they see him drive off?
No, they were in meetings.
Okay.
So we would do it, and so they were going home. Once they got out of meetings, they were hitting the highway.
So he thinks he's got like a nice little ticket to have some fun.
Yeah. Well, I thought we were just going to fill up a gas, and
so you're riding shotgun.
Oh yeah, and we were in Mankato State. Now it's called Minnesota State. We were just riding up and down the strip or whatever, or thought we were going to ride up and down the strip, thinking that we were cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple like 15-year-olds in a Benz, and yeah, this is ours. Yeah, right. And so Lane puts in like it must have been like a CD or cassette tape. He cranks that bad boy. Lane was. He took the bass and the treble and put it to the max. And I don't know what it was, but it was thumping. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, the speakers went out like blue.
Blew out the speakers.
And
how long were you driving for before he blew them out?
Oh, we couldn't have been in no more 15, 20 minutes. We did what we needed to do. We got it washed and did everything. We bumping. And we just turned that, I wasn't driving, so I was in the good. And then it's right when they broke training camp. And Lane, I think, stayed around, did ball boy for the season. I was obviously playing basketball and stuff. But man, when you talk about being puckered up tight, laying there, we never said anything about it. I know Felix right. I bet you when he went home, he tried to bump KMOJ.
You guys got away scot-free with that?
I was
well,
gone.
Lane Kiffin did at least.
Yeah. I'm sure he probably would have said I did it, but it was gone. Yeah. Yeah. And then me and Lane played against each other all through high school. He was good. He was a good basketball player. He was decent. He was a good athlete, good quarterback. Went to Fresno State.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this though, Lane, I don't have a problem with Lane or whatever. He ain't changed, but I will say this: his dad is one of the main reasons why I ended up at Nebraska, because obviously he coached here, started the Black Shirts, and he was up there coaching, obviously, or with the Vikings, and we played them on their home. That was our big rivals, his school, high school and my high school, and I obviously did all right against them, and Coach Osborne was up in there watching them, and then obviously I did my thing, and then Monty, called and said, yeah, he's pretty good. You guys should offer him a scholarship. At that same time, you got to think Minnesota hadn't offered me. It wasn't going to offer me at that point. So, you know what I mean? So I had like Northwestern, Missouri or Missouri at that time, Kansas, like kind of like mid.
Why didn't Minnesota offer you? Were they a powerhouse at that point?
Minnesota ain't never been.
That's what I'm wondering. Were they loaded?
They weren't recruiting like local kids that much. And obviously in back then, Minnesota wasn't a hotbed for football players. And I'd went to one of their camps. I'd never went to a football camp. I got a letter. They asked me to come, and I just played in AAU Nationals with my basketball team. And it was, I don't know, say we got back. And I got right off the plane, and they, I wouldn't even know what to expect. I hadn't been lifting. I've been hooping all summer, not thinking anything. I was just thinking like, all right, we're going to just go do some drills 7-on-7. I'm going to do my thing. And already was kind of getting offers or whatever, like those levels. And I was like, Minnesota's right on that level. Why wouldn't they? And, I got off the plane and didn't even stretch or anything. I don't even know if I even registered. My dad just dropped me off, said, I'll be back in an hour. You know what I'm saying? And they had me run a 40, like no warm up, no nothing. And I think I might have ran like a 4.7. You know what I'm saying? Straight off a 3-hour flight from Phoenix. You know what I mean? No, I didn't think anything of it. But then I went out there and did the drills, and I was just doing cats. And then after that, they were like, "Oh man, you can't play in Minnesota." I think that's what it was. But I was like I might have been a sophomore, I think, or junior. I think I was a sophomore going in my junior year or something. It was real young. You know what I mean? And then then I started to get more offers. I was getting a lot of basketball offers, no big deal. And then they hadn't offered. And then, that game, was on like local TV. I think, I had a couple picks and, picked Lane off or whatever, and, 120 some yards and knocked the dude out that got the player of the year in Minnesota, Cole, Dave White. He was my boy too.
You do him like that?
Oh man. Hey, it was, yeah. Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah. You come across the middle back then, I'm knocking your head off. That was head hunting. You talk about launching, that was targeting. I was targeting. I was horizontal, go to sleep twice. And really it was because when I went we warmed up and our quarterback got hurt. So I actually got to play both ways. And I saw like Nick Saban was there, Michigan State at the time. Coach Osborne was there. Coach Gary Barnett was there from Northwestern. Because there was a lot of Division I guys out there. And so Coach Grant was my coach. And I said, hey, man, they're here to watch me. He's like, nah. He's like, they're here to watch them. He's like, but if you want to get noticed, tonight's the night. I was like, oh, okay. Then that's the rest is history.
It's not like Farley when you talk like that.
The rest is history. And Monty did call for me though. So I appreciate that. I'm in, but big news is obviously Lane going to LSU.
7-year deal.
And then everybody else decided to hire a coach after that.
Yeah.
Auburn hired it was Golish. I like him. He got some swag to him.
He was the big fish, Kiffin. And once he landed, it was like
then everybody's like, all right, well, we're gonna
we need
hire
to
him.
hurry
because
this up.
Golish, I watched his when he first met with the team. They played at the same time as Auburn in Alabama, and he got the call or agreed to the deal at 1:00 in the morning, right? So you got to think he's probably recruiting players after his last game, and he showed up there at 7:00 in the morning, so things go by quick, and so he's able to go, coach at Auburn. That's a great opportunity for him. And then Summerall went to Florida.
Yep, Fitzgerald to Michigan State.
Fitzgerald to Michigan State. How do you think he'll do?
I like it. I think Fitzgerald's a great coach.
I do too.
I think he'll get Michigan State back to respectable. I don't know what the ceiling is, but a hell of a lot better than what it has been these past few seasons.
It'll be interesting to see with him. He's a great coach.
Mhm.
Was a really good player. He's actually why I even considered potentially going to Northwestern until I saw the academic requirements.
For him to put that program under his watch
Right.
with those requirements,
Right.
And I think they might have lessened up a little bit
Now they are.
now,
yeah.
but back then it was.
And they're tough.
Yeah.
So one thing, Michigan State's going to be tough. So Michigan's in for a battle. I'm sure he can recruit well. I'm sure he's going to put together a good staff. It'll be interesting to see how much, just like Brett Bielema, how much he's changed his offensive philosophy. Because as he's kind of been in timeout, he's been going around to different places and picking up different ideas. So the two things that I'm going to wait to see what he does, that offensively, what the identity is going to be with better athletes, right, than normally that he had at Northwestern. And then also how he navigates this new NIL landscape, because he never had to deal with it to this magnitude.
But he's at a school that'll have some resources for him at least.
He's at a school.
If he was still at Northwestern, that's a lot tougher.
He's at a school that got money. He's at a school state-wise that has a pretty good recruiting base, like 500-mile radius, 300-mile radius, or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how fast he gets some turnaround, because as quick as they fired Jonathan Smith, I mean, he's only been there 2 years.
Yeah, it was a super short run. That was year 2.
Right. It's like they fired him at 11 a.m. Fitzgerald was hired at 12. So they had to push their chips all in. So it's going to be interesting how much holdover he has. That young freshman quarterback is good. The one that we played.
Aiden Giles?
No, the other one, the freshman.
Oh, the
It's like
it's
Mazzoloni or something
yeah,
like that. He was the Illinois Player of the Year. He led them to the last. They played really well against Iowa. Played really well against Maryland. So their offensive line got better.
He played well versus us.
He played well against us. Thank you for Jonathan Smith by not playing him anymore. And then their defense started to come on late in the year. So they had 5 wins.
Yeah,
5 wins.
5
wins. So that starting base is pretty good for a coach like him. It'll be interesting to see what he does.
But you got to do it at quarterback.
Yeah.
I forgot.
You got Marsh at receiver. I don't know if he's a senior or not. They got some decent little athletes.
Who's going to take off faster? James Franklin over there in
Virginia
Virginia?
Tech?
Yeah, or LSU and Kiffin.
So it's between Kiffin, Franklin, and who?
Gerald, Michigan
Fitzgerald?
State, and then you can throw in Auburn.
Yeah, Golish. He's not a name yet. I'll take Golish out of it just because of.
I don't know enough about what that's going to look like.
Yeah, he'll have athletes though. I would say opportunity and conference. I would say James Franklin.
I think so. His recruiting circle hasn't changed much either.
No, he's got
in that same
he's
area.
got all the kids from Penn State coming. I think the ACC is right for the pickings. Essentially, Miami, and we'll see what happens with Clemson. So
Surprised Sweeney made it through.
Dabo?
Yeah, I would not have fired him. I'm glad they didn't. But the way the carousel was rolling there, I thought he was going to be the next one.
But here's the thing. As much as we talked about Lane being able to survive a down year or years after this year is no different. Dabo, 2-time national champion in Clemson, built Clemson to where it's at right now on a whim, on a humbug. He's got at least another. If he has another year like this year, then he's probably maybe on the hot seat. But I don't ever see him getting fired based on a record anytime.
No, it'd have to be like Gundy. It's where you just get to the point where it's like, listen, man, you've been here
too long,
forever, and it's
you're
not
about to go 1-11. Let's just save you the.
We'll do a retirement tour.
Right.
No, you won't.
Yeah,
I'm the coach.
But here's the thing. I'll ask you this: places like Clemson, I'll even throw Ole Miss in there after they got there, and I'll throw Penn State in there. Who do they hire and how do they recover? I mean, unless Penn State has somebody that they're going to nab.
They're the one that makes me nervous.
Right.
If I was a Penn State fan, I'd be sweating because you were the first one to really be out of the big names to throw your hat in the ring.
You were the first.
There's nobody. They were the first one. There's
Yeah.
another big school because LSU and all those schools came out. So yeah,
after-
you're the first one. You probably had the jump, and then I don't know if they were eyeballing Kiffin, trying to get ahead of it, and if they're waiting for him. I don't know. I don't know if they have on their target list because you got to replace the guy in James Franklin, who a little bit like the Nebraska era with Bo Pelini, but Penn State, you could argue, was even better than that. They never have like massive letdowns. They lose to Ohio State, but it's close.
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to have to hit a home run. They're not going to take a nobody like Indiana did with Kurt Signetti. Like, you're going to have to get a name. Otherwise, I think that fan base will freak out.
Right. And all the names are gone. Only thing you can think of is if they're going to go after, we got an unknown texter here, 2366. Penn State is going after the BYU coach.
Okay. Was that enough?
It's not moving the needle.
No.
He's a good coach,
yeah.
but it's not moving the needle. I'm sure they tried to. You'd heard that they possibly were trying to. They tried everything. They tried Marcus Freeman, Signetti, Kalen DeBoer. That's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they fired Franklin and they thought they had this list of candidates, and everyone said, "No, I'm all right."
Right.
And now they're sitting there. And
now you sitting.
Maybe
there
they do
stuck
go
on-
with
now
BYU.
now you stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
No, you really think? I mean,
Expectations are so high there. It's also a spot that if you're a coach, like, boy, that's
it, man. That's it, boy. That Penn State, man. I mean,
the
I
bar is
played with
going
a
to be
lot of
so
good
high
dudes
in year
from
one. It's
Penn
going to be.
State. My Penn State brothers, man, I feel sorry for you. I mean, there's nothing against BYU's coach. He's a good coach.
For sure.
I think taking BYU to where he's taken them the last few years, that's a heck of a coaching job because recruiting there and obviously with the stipulations on campus and all that, it's probably hard to get really good players, but he's able to do it.
Yeah, they had to let go of their quarterback.
Yeah, you got tough teams. Jim McMahon and all that, really, obviously, ramp it up there. But man.
But you're also going to get there. The bar is probably going to be like at the least 7 wins, maybe. But a lot of those players are going to be following Franklin. So it's not like you're going to walk in there with a loaded room of talent.
Yeah,
like
they're an NFL talent now.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Tony from Lincoln says, Dave Dipple says Lincoln Riley to Penn State.
I've been hearing Lincoln Riley
To
like
Penn
by
State?
John. I don't think Penn State's a good fit for him whatsoever, but I keep hearing his name. I don't know if he'll end up somewhere else, but I hear that name a lot. It was Josh Pate keeps tweeting.
Yeah.
Like crazy that keep an eye on Lincoln Riley. Penn State seems like a bad fit.
I wonder if that dies down since LSU took Lane.
Lincoln Riley to
It was the LSU, remember, originally. You remember his original one after Oklahoma? They asked him if he's going to LSU. He said no, but he was going to USC. You didn't ask me about USC. You asked me about LSU.
to Florida, maybe?
Florida already got their good coach. They got Summerall.
That's right.
And Chesney.
There is not all these spots are filling. I don't know.
James Madison Chesney's just signed his deal to go to UCLA. And let me ask you this before we go to break. If you're Lincoln Riley, would you leave USC to go to Penn State?
No.
Me neither.
That does not fit me whatsoever.
Yeah. Why would you?
And USC's still going to back him up enough. I don't think USC's to the point.
It's a private school. You can make a big bank out there, even though the taxes are different. But I wouldn't take that job.
My fear would risk how people perceive me as a coach might go downhill if I go to Penn State.
And then
'cause that's going to be a tough room to build.
Brian Hartline and all those guys, then the offensive coordinator, I think from Oregon, they're connected with Kentucky. So Brian Hartline was there. But then essentially you're just hiring a coordinator after you fired James Franklin. Something might be up. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Harrison. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and so much more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, the brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a chance of snow this morning, then probably sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see a high around 24. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover and calm winds, a low around 7. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze, and afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
All ticketing options for the 2026 Love Nebraska season are now available. Single match tickets start as low as $16, even cheaper if you want to bring a group. Don't miss your chance to see professional stars like Jordan Larson and Lexi Rodriguez in action this season. Purchase your preferred ticketing option today by visiting lovneb.com/tickets.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Second segment, 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman Harrison. The better of the two, my man Nick. A lot going on. People are saying here on the text line. We'll just stay the text for the rest of the show. Paul Chris. Bringing him out. He'd be somebody's coordinator. You know what Paul Chris reminds me of?
Who?
He looks like a guy in his garage that has a wood shop.
For sure.
He looks like, man, if you were talking to him, you're like, man, my favorite chair in the kitchen that it just broke. He's like, oh, I got this. What kind of chair is it? And he'll take you to like Home Depot or somewhere or Menards, and he'll make you a chair by Christmas.
For sure.
Yeah.
He cares about the patterns on his lawn when he's mowing.
Oh, yeah.
You don't mess that up.
He's definitely.
He's going cross grid the one day and then lines the next.
He'll make it look like an MLB outfield.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you need to.
I don't know what role you'd want him in, though. Like, not Penn State head coach, obviously. I don't know what the text was referring to.
He could go somewhere and definitely be a coordinator.
I think for sure a coordinator.
I think Wisconsin probably pulled the plug a little bit too quickly. I think the identity was there. He just had a good year. Maybe got a little stale. I know he didn't like to recruit. But sometimes being out of the game can really, help you want to recruit. And I think recruiting is easier because now you just got to call and ask them what their price is.
I know you got general managers a lot too.
But money first, everything is else second. So, couple texts here. Thomas and Lincoln says, "Do you think Penn State called Saban or Urban Meyer?" I'm sure they called, but obviously they were told no.
Yeah, or straight to voicemail. I don't think either of those guys are interested right now.
They gave him the red button.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that that Urban Meyer went and talked to him, but he wasn't very sharp on NIL. But then neither is BYU, right? Because they don't have they got a lot of money up there because they were getting that basketball player, but out for football. Plus, everybody is on the revenue sharing deal, so NIL isn't that big a deal unless you got to pay them underneath the table. That's what I like too.
Oh, it still happens.
DM says Manny Diaz to Penn State. Doubtful.
No,
but he had a good run there as a coordinator. Coordinator.
Yeah, I don't think so.
At Duke, yeah.
You get with the Penn State thing, like you have to hit such a home run. Like you're gonna end up getting a guy who doesn't look like, in my opinion, that's fit to do the job. But I think they're just gonna end up having to hire someone.
They know they need a coach.
Yeah, they know.
They know that is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And their board of regents they know they need a coach. Now they probably struck out the side 4 or 5 times, or they got struck out, and they need a slap hitter right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing against the BYU coach. I think he'll do well anywhere he goes. I think he's a really good coach. His teams are physical. They're generally tough. I just think Penn State being the first blue blood to, I guess, impulsively or just rationally in their mind make that call to fire James Franklin, which probably they wanted to fire him the year before. And you would think they had somebody already in their back pocket and they had a option in the front pocket. Looks like they got a lot of lint in their pockets, and now they're trying to scramble now, which, however it goes over, I think it might not be at first a sexy hire, but if he starts to win, then it'll be all good. You know what I mean, Harris?
Yeah, apologies to everybody watching the stream. Computer just crashed, so that's quick. We'll put the graphic up. They can still hear us and everything. But if that's what you're wondering, as we work on that. But I feel like they might realistically end up with the interim head coach just to buy time if they're just getting all these.
Well, they might be able to do that for
because the fans will be in.
What are you going to do with
that? The fans love the interim.
The interim coach, what are you going to do? Say, hey, you do it for 1 year?
Unless you prove it and they hire him again. But if they don't like all their options.
He's a good enough coach. He can go get on somebody else's staff. He's going to want some security. So that's at least 2 or 3 year deal. So essentially, you're just throwing money into the wind. You got to hire a coach and you got to deal with it. And you got to make that coach the best coach. No, if he's your 4th or 5th choice, you got to make that your best choice. You got to support him, and then you got to put guardrails around him to help him fast track his success. You can't I feel at a place like Penn State, I like the coach, the interim coach. If you're going to do it, commit to him. If you're not, don't commit to him for a year, knowing you're going to fire him after a year, and the new guy might not hold him over because now he was actually the head coach at that point. You might put some stuff in there that you got to keep him on staff and so forth and so on. But you pick a coach, you got to make him the best coach. You got to support him. You got to do what you need to do.
Yeah, well, I think there's some truth because the Sharon Moore, you never felt like Michigan was fully backing him up.
Do you think they're still backing him up?
No, I think they are. I think they're.
I think they're dealing with
hesitant.
I mean, he's a quirky dude, and they got the brakes beat off of him.
Yeah,
they got and let me ask you this: what do you think about Michigan standing out there trying to guard their field? And Ohio State wasn't even paying no attention. Then do you see what they did in the going to the locker room? They were kind of like guarding, like
So they were guarding the M.
Yeah.
It was not a great look for Michigan because Ohio State was just sitting there in front of their fans, like, you guys lost. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it was a bad look for Michigan. Like, you just got embarrassed.
Right. Well, the thing I think that made it look worse is that the two coaches talked about it, and Ryan Day is like, my team isn't going to do it. So this team went and did it with, class and humility. Michigan went into the locker room and then came back out and then sat there while Ohio State was still
They were just hanging out, sitting with the fan base.
Sitting with the fan base. And then when they went towards the locker room, Michigan kind of like did the same thing. Look, at some point in time, you just got your head beat in for 3 hours. All right. You need to get past that.
Yeah, the M's been beaten already.
Yeah, you've been beaten it already. The tough guy stuff is over. You had, you got embarrassed, you got beat, and you got to deal with it. I think, Sharon Moore, I think he's a good coach. I think it was odd, just this whole thing, with him. I think at first he was the only one that would take the job. He needed the job.
Well, he was in the scandal with. It was a bizarre situation because it was a little weird for you to keep the guy who's in the middle of a scandal.
He was in the middle of scandal.
Instead of just totally cleaning your hands from it. Like, all right, Harbaugh's gone, but Sharon Moore, you're definitely implicated in this too.
Yeah, because they didn't know if they would lose games or anything like that. Then he's suspended for what, 2 games?
Just 2 games, but he gets to pick kind of which games.
You get to pick the games, and so this next year will show you, where he's at.
Yeah, because that was a lot of distraction early on.
Right. Now he actually is out of the.
He's good.
He's out of jail. He's
Yeah.
able to do his thing. Michigan will be back. But man, Penn State, they're the only team without a coach right now.
They deserve it though. Like, I'm in the camp. Like, in no world should they have fired Franklin, especially with the college football playoffs being what they are. You had one off year with Franklin, and to be fair, like, I understand why it's upsetting, but every other year you're making it to the playoffs over and over and over. You got the playoffs for 1 year, you made it the next year.
The Big Ten championship last year.
You have a rough one, so you don't make it, and then done.
Yeah, and he's brought you at that time. You got to think, after Bill O'Brien left to go to the Texans, he brought you to national prominence.
Yeah,
national prominence.
When you were a cancer when he first got there, nobody wanted to go to Penn State.
Yeah, nobody wanted to coach there. Nobody wanted to go there. He's putting guys in the NFL left and right. We're talking about some dudes, obviously Saquon and so forth and so on. I think it was, the funny thing is they were mad that he couldn't beat top 10 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
But essentially they were mad he didn't win a national championship. So just on assumption base, whoever they're hiring right now most likely has never won a national championship. So the guy that you're firing the guy that you fired and the guy that you hired are still the same. Because if you hire the BYU coach, he's probably has some ranked wins, but he's in the Big 12, right? And he was what was it? Where were they in before? Mountain West?
Yeah, Mountain West, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, you beat they're still not Big 10.
Brian Kelly to Penn State from the text line.
That would be a G move by Brian Kelly, though. I don't know, man.
It might be the best possible option for Penn State, though, that's left, because I'm not a big.
Do you think Brian Kelly fits in anywhere? Anywhere?
No, he does get wins, though, but he drives a lot of people the wrong way. Apparently, Penn State was tired of the nice guys, so maybe they do.
I don't know, man. I think Brian Kelly, if he knows what he probably didn't do well at LSU, and kind of, okay, I can't do that, right? Obviously, he's not going to try to change his accent because he's up there. That's where he's from, up there. So he doesn't have to really try to change who he is. He probably fits Penn State maybe a little bit more than the BYU coach, right? But if he really changes some of the things that he's like, oh, you know what? That was probably the wrong move at LSU.
What do you think he's doing that?
I said if.
Okay.
Because one of the things when you're talking about like Ryan Clark, what's the big offensive tackle that for LSU?
Campbell?
No. The one that just retired. Was it what?
I was thinking of one that got drafted.
He does TV now. played for the Rams and played for the Bengals forever. Him, Booger McFarland, all these guys, Jacob Hester, they said that they had reached out to Brian Kelly to help with recruiting players, like when they were there, weren't really allowed to go to practice, and really were shunned. You can't do that at LSU. First of all, those guys live there. You can't do that at LSU. You certainly cannot do that at Penn State. So if he rectifies that, he's actually 2 steps ahead of where he was when he left. Now, all the other stuff and being hard to work with and all that, I think Brian Kelly's at his best when he has 2 really good coordinators. Yes, you know, when Notre Dame was really rolling, he had Marcus Freeman and he had Tommy Rees. And then he was the CEO, and then obviously he didn't have a big NIL when that's when they were churning out offense and defensive linemen and all that. You can get back to that at Penn State. You look, everywhere he's been at, he's won. So it does work.
It does work. He gets like 9 wins, pretty consistently. Yeah. When he left Notre Dame, though, I can't remember what the exact quote was, but the resources, he made a comment.
Well, the ability
is it the standards at Notre Dame?
Academic standards and be able to recruit, big.
So there's some truth to that,
right?
Though.
So yeah, but then you went to LSU, lost 3 games by a total of like 11 points.
Yeah,
and all of them were ranked teams. Lost to Texas A&M. That was a 1.
Yep.
And now that up until last week, they were like, oh, that's the best team in the nation, right?
It might honestly be the best move for Penn State. Right. If you're the AD, you're gonna have a long sit down, see where he's at, but
that would be a long talk between.
Because you're not gonna get hype. He's not going.
Josh?
Yeah.
Did you just see what Vanderbilt did to them?
But Heupel, I don't think is going to be going.
No, he's lucky to be right where he's at.
Yeah,
yeah. You'd have to give Brian Kelly. It give you some respect. No disrespect to BYU coach Brian Kelly or bust.
Well, BYU, he's good, but I think there's some unknown factors.
Brian Kelly gives you. Now, this is whether Brian Kelly can put together a staff or not.
And also the recruiting right away, get in the mix. Because, again, I think a lot of those players are gone.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this Monday. Post John Butler firing Jay Foreman, Harrison. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
All ticketing options for the 2026 Love Nebraska season are now available. Single match tickets start as low as $16, even cheaper if you want to bring a group. Don't miss your chance to see professional stars like Jordan Larson and Lexi Rodriguez in action this season. Purchase your preferred ticketing option today by visiting lobbneb.com/tickets.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 plus convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, December 5th. See Club for details.
At Riddles Jewelry, we know there are moments in life when you realize this is what it's all about. And you wish you could hold on to that feeling forever. This is why we've made jewelry our passion for 65 years. This holiday season, find the perfect gift with savings up to 50%. Riddles Jewelry, family owned since 1959.
Located in Lincoln at the Gateway Mall.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing. And we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back, Jay Foreman. One last segment, quick segment here. 5 o'clock hour goes by quick, man. A lot going on in Huskyland, never ending story. A couple nuggets coming out of Nebraska is, 2 positive things. Troy Vincent, potentially, I don't know. This is just reported by one of the online guys that he's moving on to another job. He was a really good asset off the field role. Really good dude, solid dude. So we wish him the best if that's true. But what is true is also Deshaun Singleton got a Senior Bowl invite. So good on him.
I mean, rightfully so. He's been awesome.
Big, good representation, big safety. Does it for the right reasons. Very humble kid. We saw him down at the Big Ten Media Day, so you wish him all the best when he gets down there, and he'll represent Nebraska like he always does. So good on him. You go down there and show well. Could really pay off, later on, go to the combine. Generally, guys that go there will go to the combine. And so, go down there, play well. He'll interview well because he's a really good kid, really smart, tough kid, a little bit of position flexibility. So, as long, he goes down there and represents, you wish him the best.
Yeah, who was wide receiver last year? I'm blanking. He did good in the Senior Bowl. He showed out and it really helped his stock out.
Was it
one of the wide receivers? We didn't get a whole lot of action during the season.
Yeah, he came from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Is it Isaiah Nair?
Nair, yep.
Yeah. And he ended up being drafted by San Fran, and then he went to the combine. And he's a big old kid, ran fast, and so hopefully Deshaun does the same, and not anybody else that does stuff after that. You want to hear my Senior Bowl story?
Yeah, we can hear it
real quick. This is why I hate.
I can see you ready to go. You're bundled up like a marshmallow on the camera.
It's cold in here. Hey man, it's
I thought you were from Minnesota.
I am, but that doesn't mean I don't get cold. That's the funny. Forget the Senior Bowl story. That's the funny thing. People think like just because you're from Minnesota, that you have a different blood type or you just don't get cold. We just know how to deal with it. In the structure up in Minneapolis, you don't have to go outside that much. Because I'm not ice fishing, and I'm not doing like any of those like cross country skiing and none of that. So no, I know how to deal with it. But I wanted to go to the Senior Bowl real bad. And it came down between me and this dude named Matt Hughes, linebacker from Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They took him because he was 6'4". Said I wasn't tall enough. So I always kept a track of Matt Hughes. Another reason to hate Iowa, man. Anyways, appreciate you guys listening. Text line, you guys were off the chain. Probably going to be some more news coming out here.
Probably
forward
tonight before I'm even done. Sure, I'll have something else come through.
And so we'll be able to talk about it later in the week. Jay Foreman, Harrison, my man Nick, the better of the two. We'll holler at you next, or holler at you on Wednesday.